Deeper and deeper I go. I find what it is I should know. 'Cause it's just a matter of time that you'll reawaken your mind. Oh, come with me, come to know and find out what is true. Then you'll know what's in store just for you. No more living a lie. I can look to the sky and say, I'm reawakening mine. Come to know and find out what is truth, yes. Then you'll know what's in store just for you. No more living a lie. I can look to the sky and say, I'm reawakening mine.
Happy Holy Day, Moors. Welcome to House of Reawakening Minds. House of Reawakening Minds exists to provide for the exploration and practice of spirituality in an enlightened community dedicated to honoring the myriad of sacred pathways to the universal creator. We are an awakening center for spiritual grounding, free thought, self-discovery, and Moorish science, a learning experience for all ages. Tonight, we're going to do something a little bit different. As you know, our National Grand Sheik is not with us tonight, but he is in our thoughts and prayers. But we have a very special program tonight. Tonight, we have Consul General Lamont Maurice L., along with MUFTI Officer George Neal-Bey, and others who will present Consular Jurisdiction and the Reserve Powers of the People. And many of you have been patiently waiting to hear from the Office of the Consul General since he and George Neal-Bey were kidnapped at a traffic stop in November 2022. And the last time we heard from the Consul General was October 2023 after his release. Tonight, you're going to hear testimonies directly from Consul General Lamont Maurice L. and MUFTI Officer George Neal-Bey regarding what actually happened after the traffic stop, how ATF and Homeland Security were involved, and the revelations and divine lessons they received from Grand Sheik Tarik Bey and Dr. Hannibal Bey regarding consular jurisdiction and the reserve powers of the people. Now, before we get started, I want everybody to make sure you like and share. And if you have not already done so, please subscribe to our channel. This information is going to be something that you don't want to miss. We want you to get your pen and paper as they are going to talk about there are going to be some testimonies. So these include Brother Lawrence L.'s successful release from unlawful imprisonment and parole under consular jurisdiction. Brother McKinley L.'s successful dismissal with prejudice of a de facto foreclosure case under consular jurisdiction. Sister Wilkinson Bey's successful mortgage dispute, which proves all mortgages are fraud. And finally, you're going to hear from the three sisters who issued the order for the release of Consul General Lamont Maurice L. from unlawful imprisonment under consular jurisdiction. That's also Sister Wilkinson Bey, Sister McLean L., and Sister Hughes L. And yes, they have come with receipts. Welcome to official House of Reawakening Minds. It's so good. Let me take you guys. I have you muted. I think I have you muted, so you probably can't say anything. So you make sure you can. I think you could talk. Go ahead.
Peace. I don't see my screen.
Oh, you know what? You are actually frozen. I can see
I'm
you.
Frozen.
And Brother George, you have muted yourself, so you need to unmute yourself so we can see you in a freeze frame, Consul General, but it can absolutely not.
Wow. Sure. Okay, let me leave and come back in. Is that cool?
That's cool.
Okay, I'm gonna leave and come back in.
Listen, while he's doing that, won't you please share, let somebody know that this show was on. It's not a show. This presentation is about to begin. I know, you got about 25 minutes for those of you who might feel it's more important to watch the show with Tyson. But this is information that can help you and can help us. So, and of course, we know you can always come back and look at the replay. But if you can, please stay and be part of this. So let me see if he's back. All right, let me see if I got you back. All right, there you are. Consul General, how are you?
Yes, I am all is well, all is well.
Actually, I shared some of what was in the description and not all, kind of, jumped around a little bit so that we could get in with the actual presentation. And what I really want to do is to actually give you the floor to talk about what's happened, what has happened. I'll put you at first. I want to make you, let me see. I'm just going to make you solo here and greet the people and tell us what's going on, or if you
Yes, most definitely. I got it. So thank you for having me again, Dr. G. And first, I would like to acknowledge and give high honors to all of my active and not passive Asiatic brothers and sisters that are at the different countries around the world that have laced up their bootstraps, that have not made excuses, and have taken their duty and responsibility of nationalizing their lands and resources around the world. We see and recognize all of your efforts in this great fight of removing the sin that has corrupted your lands in the name of colonization. This is truly the reuniting of Asia and nationality by jus sanguinis, which means right of blood, is the order of the day. So just wanted to give that recognition and high honors to all of those countries out there, those Asiatic countries and nations that are nationalizing right now. And you are actually also showing us here at North America what it really means to nationalize, because a lot of our people here, a lot of the Asiatics here in North America, not only did our history get stolen away from us, along with our lands and resources, but knowledge of who we are was held from us as well. So the concept of nationalization, we're still going through a learning curve here at North America in regards to nationalization and what it actually means. And I know, as well as the, of course, Grand Sheik Tarik Bey, and everyone that came under his school of thought knows and understands that nationalization is another word for decolonization. So concepts are incorrect in a lot of Asiatics heads here at North America. And in support of this, I will be reading briefly from our Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, known as the Circle 7, Chapter 25, the Holy Covenant of the Asiatic Nation. Want to do screen share. All right. I've been on here enough times to know how to. Okay, here we go. All right. So this is the chapter 25.
Wait a minute.
The Holy. Oh, I'm sorry. Can you see it, Dr. G? Is it on the screen?
Yeah. Well, we come into the problem. We cancel it.
Is it on the screen?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Just checking. This is chapter 25, a Holy Covenant of the Asiatic Nation. And this is ancient. All right. And this is just a call to all of the nations around the world in regards to our Holy Covenant. Ye are the children of one father, provided for by his care, and the breast of one mother have given you suck. Let the bonds of affection therefore unite thee with thy brothers, that peace and happiness may dwell in thy father's house. And when ye separate in the world, remember the relation that bindeth you to love and unity, and prefer not a stranger before thy own blood. If thy brother is in adversity, assist him. If thy sister is in trouble, forsake her not. So shall the fortunes of thy father contribute to the support of his whole race, and his care be continued to you all in your love to each other. This is a holy covenant. It's another form of a contract that the Asiatic nation has. And you see the word nation means it's singular. So Asiatic is another word for the natural people of the land. And there are many Asiatic nations, but when we come to one as one, there's one Asiatic nation, and this is the reuniting of Asia. All right. So moving forward, also to those that are still living their lives under the slave brand names, Black, African American, Indian, etc., thinking that a legislation on the color of law is supposed to save you. I want you to hear me very clearly. The Civil Rights Act, which has sanctioned these unlawful practices on our land under the unconstitutional 14th Amendment, is in the process of being rescinded and will be unenforceable. So people won't be able to use that dead 14th Amendment privilege argument anymore to pretend to save themselves. That includes the artificial, colorable Title 42 USC 1983 lawsuits and the corporate U.S. citizenship, which is unconstitutional and only applies to corporations, not people. Now, because of that, everyone has to prove their God, and like our Honorable Amir Tarik Bey always says, all masks are off. So there's no more privileges, all right? Now, I want to address all of the Moorish Americans at North America, starting with the words from Prophet El-Hajj Sharif Abdul Ali, also known as Prophet Noble Drew Ali, and FYI to the new Asiatic Moors that have declared their nationality as Moorish American. Noble Drew Ali brought us our Moorish American nationality. He didn't bring us more American. He did not bring us Moroccan American. Somebody already has that nationality, although we are Moroccans. Because we're descendant of Moroccans born in America, and Moroccan is the modern name for Moabite. If you're a Moorish American, you should know this. You should be reading your 101 questions for Moorish Americans. But I want to give this message to you. And I'm reading from the old statements and prophecies of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. And I know a lot of people, some of you all may not have heard of it, but I know a lot of you all who's chosen your side, you chose sides, you all don't want to accept a lot of those oral statements and prophecies. But I'm going to read certain ones anyway, because there's a point behind it. This is number 95. Bro J. Blakely Bey said that the Holy Prophet said, the third and fourth generations will see the good of my work. He was speaking, remember, from the era of 1913 to 1928. So third and fourth generation from that generation. You could do the math. And continuing, the people living in the third and fourth generation after the Holy Prophet established the Moorish Science Temple of America will see the good of his work more than the people living at that time of his first generation of establishment. That is people in and out of Islam. Next, this is number 107. Bro O. Peyton Bey of Temple 4 and 25 said that the Holy Prophet said, there are going to be new Moors that are going to come in with their eyes wide open, seeing and knowing, and are going to take you old Moors, seat you in the back, and carry out my law. He was talking about new members of the Moorish Science Temple of America that will come into the temple with their eyes wide open, seeing and knowing, and who will carry out the Holy Prophet's law. And also the last one, and I think it's the most important. This is number 39, 139. J. Blakely Bey told the Moors that the Holy Prophet said, if you are not careful, your own brothers and sisters will try to put you back into slavery. All right. But we're going to stay more focused on the good of what Noble Drew Ali brought us, the good of the work that we in the third and the fourth generations have been seeing. And we're going to share it tonight. Let me get back to my itinerary. So I want to start. This is still me addressing the Moorish Americans here at North America. I want to start with the reading of the Divine Constitution and bylaws of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Give me a second while I screen share. All right, here we go. This is the Divine Constitution and bylaws of the Moorish Science Temple of America, Act 1. And I'm not going to read all of them. I'm only going to read the highlighted that so that I can make the point. This is Act 1. The Grand Sheik and the chairman of the Moorish Science Temple of America is empowered to make law and enforce laws with the assistance of the Prophet and the grand body of the Moorish Science Temple of America. The assistant Grand Sheik is the assistant Grand Sheik in all affairs if he lives according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And it is known before the members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Act 1 is showing us that we have the power of legislation, which is the legislative power, and the executive power, which is enforcing and executing the law. That's Act 1. All right, moving forward, I'm going to Act 3. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. No member is to put in danger or accuse falsely his brother or sister on any occasion at all that may harm his brother or sister, because Allah is love. So members of the Moorish Science Temple of America are not supposed to put their brothers and sisters in danger, especially when the danger has to do with enforcing unconstitutional laws or unconstitutional policies, such as being compliant with traffic court. That's unconstitutional. That puts you in danger. As well, paying a tax to a corporation that's not a government, and it's not even your government, that also puts you in danger. As well as pretending to pay dead pledges that people call mortgages. Mortgage means dead pledge. That also puts you in danger. Also, not supposed to accuse falsely his brother or sister on any occasion at all. So false accusations is when people say, those new Moors, renegade Moors, they're not doing what Prophet Noble Drew Ali said. Well, we're going to address that tonight, because that is false accusation. That's false. Act 4. All members must preserve these holy and divine laws, and all members must obey the laws of the government, because by being a Moorish American, you are a part and parcel of the government and must live the life accordingly. And yeah, parcel is what was really written there originally, because we saw the microfilm from Cook County that Tarik Bey went himself and retrieved, because partial is the same word as part. It does not say part and partial. It says part and parcel. Parcel is dealing with the land. So we are part and parcel of the government, and we must live the life accordingly. Then that means all activity, all interest that anybody claiming to represent the government, all of that, we have interest in that. So we're supposed to live life accordingly, as if we are part and parcel of the said government. Not supposed to be sitting on the sideline and doing nothing, while people pretending to be government continue this human trafficking and war crimes against the people of the land. as well as the colonizers. They're doing it against them as well. Act 5. This organization of the Moorish Science Temple of America is not to cause any confusion or to overthrow the laws and constitution of the said government, but to obey hereby. When you are enforcing unconstitutional laws, you are in turn overthrowing the laws and constitution of the said government. And I'm going to stop right there, and I'm going to go to the Constitution for the United States of North America, Article 6, so that we can be clear and we are on the same page. So if we are obeying the laws of the government and we're not overthrowing the laws of the government, then we need to know what the laws of the government says. The supreme law of the land is the Constitution for the United States. And I'm reading from the Supremacy Clause under Article 6, Clause 2. This Constitution and the laws of the United States which shall be made in pursuance thereof, and all treaties made or which shall be made under the authority of the United States shall be the supreme law of the land. Stop right there. It says this Constitution, comma, laws of the United States which shall be made in pursuance thereof. That means if there's any legislation that is made contrary to this Constitution and all treaties made or which shall be made, it is not the supreme law of the land. That's what that means. Otherwise, it would have just said, and the laws of the United States. It doesn't. It says, which shall be made in pursuance thereof. So that means there are unconstitutional bills of attainder called legislation. And moving forward, the judges in every state shall be bound thereby. Anything in the Constitution or laws of any state to the contrary, notwithstanding. That means it has no standing in law. Any state constitutional article or state law that is contrary to the Constitution and all treaties made are not withstanding. And guess what? If you are a member, of the Moorish Science Temple of America, this is not me leaning on my own understanding. This is me reading, knowing how to read and interpret what I'm reading. And wait a minute, where did the trying to see what it just disappeared. All right, give me a second. Give me a second. The divine constitution and bylaws just disappeared somehow. Give me a second while I pull it back up. Here we go. So I'm going back to number 5, Act 5. So a lot of you all may not know this, and I'm talking about members of the Moorish Science Temple of America, where it says that this organization of the Moorish Science Temple of America is not to cause any confusion or to overthrow the laws and constitution of the said government, but to obey hereby. In order for you to know the laws and constitution of the said government, that field of study is called civics. And the civic organization still lives within the religious corporation known as Moorish Science Temple of America. Please read your Moorish literature and you'll see that. But in order for you to know consciously that you're not overthrowing the laws and constitution of the said government, you have to know the laws and constitution of the said government. Because somebody can come and tell you that if you don't have a driver's license, you are not obeying what Prophet Noble Drew Ali said under Act 5. And that comes from ignorance of the law. And that does not excuse you. All right, moving forward, Act 6. With us, all members must proclaim their nationality. And we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are a part and a parcel of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folk, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained noble Drew Ali, the prophet, to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Now, Act 6 is giving you a direct instruction. It says all members must proclaim their nationality. And we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed. So that means not just proclaim your nationality with the Moorish sign symbol of America. No, because the goal is right here to be recognized by the government in which you live. So if you proclaim your nationality only with the Moorish sign symbol of America, but you don't do it anywhere else, not with the financial institution called bank, not with your job, not with anywhere else, not even the gym that you go work out at, meaning proclaiming your nationality absent of doing business in the slave name or under race black. If you have not done that, you are not in alignment with what Act 6 says, as a member of the Moorish sign symbol of America. Noble Drew Ali said, if you don't do anything else, proclaim your nationality. And a lot of brothers and sisters are suffering because they have not proclaimed their nationality in all of the business affairs, all the commercial affairs that they're engaged in, but they only nationalize when they go to the Moorish sign symbol of America and or when they're among, and I ain't just talking about the members of the Moorish sign symbol of America, I'm talking about everyone who has declared their nationality only among themselves or only on paper with the legal notice and judicial proclamation, and you haven't done it anywhere else. I remember being in prison, and we would go to the Moorish sign symbol of America in the study hall, and then after that, we're leaving there. Well, in there, we're Moorish Americans. But when we leave, and then we got to go back to our cell, we're counted out under the race black and under the slave name. I remember that. There's brothers and sisters right now in prison, right now, and in jail that are being counted as denationalized Moors, or in other words, classified as undesirables or stateless persons under the 14th Amendment U.S. Corporate Citizenship Clause. And that's causing a lot of injury to people because of the misunderstandings as well as the confusion, which is not supposed to have been done, right? Act 5, as well as the confusion that has been in this movement. And I'm going to do my best, along with the people that I have with me tonight, to clear up this confusion. So right here, I'm going to the Constitution because I remember hearing somebody say the definition of Republican government, talking about that's supposed to be representative government. Yeah, let's correct that. Article 4, Section 4. This is Article 4, Section 4 of the Constitution. It reads, the United States shall guarantee to every state in this union a Republican form of government. So if anybody is claiming a democracy, they're not talking about the government. That's not the government. Democracy is nowhere in this Constitution. Democracy falls under the unconstitutional 14th Amendment clause. And I say unconstitutional because right here, we did our research. When you go to the webpage research, this is the enforcetheconstitution.org website. You can go right here on the top page, click on more, drop down, menu will come, and scroll down to research. And it's going to take you to this page right here. And when you scroll down, look for the truth about the 14th Amendment. This is a congressional record. Scrutinize it.
You don't have it on the screen.
I don't have it on the screen? Oh,
no.
Give me a second. Hold on. Share this tab instead. Oh, okay. All right, what about now?
Let me see. Here we go.
Is there
yes.
congressional record? Okay. Scrutinize this congressional record, challenge it, go to the Library of Congress, and see if you can pull a copy of it. And it's right here, downloadable and printable right here on the website. And this is the Congressional Record Proceedings and Debates of the 90th Congress First Session, Volume 113, Part 12. The date is June 12, 1967. And it's written right here. And this will explain why a lot of people that are worried about the Civil Rights Act being voided, that's because it's been void from the beginning. Because it comes under the unconstitutional 14th Amendment. It reads, the 14th Amendment is unconstitutional. The purported 14th Amendment to the United States Constitution is and should be held to be ineffective, invalid, null, void, and unconstitutional for the following reasons, and every last one of these three reasons gives an article of the Constitution that aligns with the supreme law of the land and why the 14th Amendment is unconstitutional and it's unenforceable, even though some of you all are consenting to it. So, getting back to the Constitution, the Republican form of government was sanctioned by our foremothers and forefathers for the United States of North America, the several states of the Union. Now, when we go to the definition of Republican government, under the definition of government, when you go to government, don't look for Republican government, look for government. This is the Black's Law Dictionary, 5th edition. Look for the word government right here. And then when you look for government, under government, look for, oh, excuse me. All right, I got to get used to that because I'm used to the tabs just changing, but I just realized that it wasn't showing the screen. This is the Black's Law Dictionary, 5th edition. Under government, you want to look for Republican government. So you see federal government, and then down here you see local government, mixed government, and Republican government. Let's see if these concepts are correct when we look at or think of what a Republican government is. One in which the powers of sovereignty are vested in the people and are exercised by the people either directly or through representatives chosen by the people to whom those powers are specially delegated. So I'm going to read that in reverse. The powers of sovereignty which are vested in the people, if they are not specially delegated to representatives chosen by the people, then that means those powers are to be exercised directly by the people. That's what it says. So it's not just through representatives. No. If the power is not delegated, give me a second because the brother's calling in from prison, and I just wanted him to listen in. If the powers are not delegated, Islam, brother, we live right now. I'm reading. If the powers are not delegated, then the powers are exercised directly by the people. What powers are that? These powers right here. This is Article 3, Section 1. The judicial power. That's the power to interpret and apply the law. In order for you to interpret the law, you got to know how to read. And our people were not taught how to read. We were taught connotative linguistics. So you got to know how to read to interpret the law and apply the law. That's the judicial power. That is a power of sovereignty, sovereign power. Also, Article 2, Section 1, executive power. That's the power to enforce and execute the law. And then we have...
Bro, you still showing Black's Law Dictionary?
I'm still showing the Black's Law Dictionary. I apologize. What about now, bro? Is it the Constitution?
Yes, it's the Constitution.
All right. Please forgive me. Well, if you all were following with my words, then you can visually see that I was talking about Article 3, Section 1, judicial power. Article 2, Section 1, executive power. And here, Article 1, Section 1, legislative power. That's the power to make law. The power to make law. Now, when you go to the 10th Amendment, which is the last amendment in the Bill of Rights, you'll see a reflection of the definition of Republican government, which does not mean a government that exercises powers only by representative. That is not what the hell Republican government means. So clear that up and go reread the definition if you still think that. But here's a reflection of that definition. 10th Amendment, the powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively. Another word for respect is honorable, honorably, or honorable, or to the people. Now, last time I checked, all of the several states of the Union are not in a respectful or honorable position because they gave up their Republican government for what? Democracy under the 14th Amendment. And now they're trying to fight for the Republic back. Not knowing that republic is a compound word. First word in republic is re. That means to do over. Second word is public. That's we the people. That is we the people. And we the people, just to be clear, in the preamble, we the people is a specific status that does not apply to everybody. So first and foremost, let's get this straight too. We the people do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. So that means citizens of the United States of America are not we the people. Also, it says, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. So ourselves being we the people, our posterity being the descendants of we the people, the heirs of we the people. So if those that know trust law, does this not sound like a trust? That's because it is a trust. Not only is this a trust, it's an insurance policy. Not only is it insurance policy, it's also a security agreement for those that are looking to be secured party creditors under the UCC. For what? If you're a secured party in the Constitution, the debt clause is right here under Article 6, Clause 1. What do you need to be a secured party creditor under the UCC Uniform Commercial Code for? If one, that's unconstitutional, has nothing to do with the supreme law of the land. Two, that deals with the subject of bankruptcy. If this is your land, you're not bankrupt. The wealth is in the land. It's not in fiat paper or digital currency. But look at what it says. This is the secured party creditor clause of the Constitution. Article 6, Clause 1. Look what it says. All debts contracted and engagements entered into before the adoption of this Constitution shall be as valid against the United States under this Constitution as under the Confederation. So if we the people in the preamble are still holding debts and engagements against the United States of America that came prior to this Constitution, then what does that make we the people? Secured under Article 6, Clause 1. That makes them secured party creditors. Creditor is somebody that's owed a debt. So if we're the creditors, then who's the United States of America and the citizens of the United States of America? The debtors. Thank you, brother. Don't believe me? Let's go to another supreme law of the land. Give me a second. I'm going to share. All right. So I'm going to study materials for Moors. I'm going back there. And I'm going down to the Articles of Confederation, which is mentioned in Article 6, Clause 1. This is the Articles of Confederation. And I'm going to Article 4 of the Articles of Confederation. And let me just show you also in the Constitution, real quick. This is Article 4, Article 4, Section 2. This is the Citizenship Clause. This is the true citizenship clause for citizens of the several states of the Union, contrary to the 14th Amendment. It says the citizens of each state shall be entitled to all privileges and immunities of citizens in the several states. It does not say citizens of the United States. That's a federal citizenship, and it applies to corporate persons, and it's unconstitutional. Citizenship came by way of the state. And Article 4, Section 2 is an extension of, right here, where'd it go? Article 4 of the Articles of Confederation. Look what it says. It says, the better to secure and perpetuate mutual friendship and intercourse among the people of the different states in this union. The free inhabitants of each of these states. Pay attention to the status. Paupers, that's poor people. Vagabonds, that's people that don't have land, that wander from land to land or territory to territory. And fugitives from justice accepted. That's the people that's trying to escape law. Shall be entitled to all privileges and immunities of free citizens in the several states. So when did they become creditors? If their citizenship includes their status being paupers, vagabonds, and fugitives from justice. This year is 1781, right? It started in 1777 when they first started, when they convened in the Continental Congress, which Moors were the majority of, 35 Moors, right? We were the majors, because why wouldn't we be if this is the Continental Congress? People of the continent. It's not rocket science. It's real clear. And 1781, this is when the United States of America was born. Not 1787. They were colonies. It was 1781, and it was a confederacy. And the actual confederacy was the Honesty Confederacy of Moors that comprised the Continental Congress. All right, so when you study law, this is the supreme law of the land, still to this day. When you study law, you're studying history. When you study history, you're studying law, because law and history goes hand in hand. So, moving forward, back to the Constitution. If you challenge, first of all, if your obligation as an Aboriginal, Moorish American, being part and parcel of this said government, is to obey the laws of the government and not overthrow the laws of the government, then yes, if there's somebody claiming to exercise or represent the government and exercise powers of the government, they're supposed to be challenged, especially if they're representing a democracy and they're calling out a government. It is not just your right, it is your duty. So if you're going before a de facto court or a corporation purporting or pretending to be a court, then yes, you're supposed to challenge the jurisdiction and demand for what? The delegation of authority order from Congress, because delegation of authority right here in regards to the judicial power comes under Article 3, Section 1. It says the judicial power of the United States shall be vested in one Supreme Court, and in such inferior courts as the Congress may from time to time ordain and establish. In other words, if that inferior court, federal, state, local, city, municipal, township, etc., it doesn't matter. If that venue, that court was not ordained and established by Congress by way of a delegation of authority order, it is not a court. Therefore, you go to the 10th Amendment. And the 10th Amendment says the powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution are reserved to the people. So who exercises the judicial power in that matter, in that issue? Who? The people. And that is your duty. Noble Drew Ali said, I gave you everything it takes to save a nation. Now take it and save yourselves. Because we done got ourselves in some deep doo-doo. And we the only ones that's going to get ourselves out. So I am honored to introduce the testimonies of my active and not passive brothers and sisters that have enforced the Constitution while defending their liberty and property. In other words, they refuse to give up their birthrights because they have accepted their great missionary work. So I want to start with the brother, McKinley L. Where you at, McKinley L? Can we bring McKinley L on?
All right, okay, add to the stage.
Brother McKinley L.
Yes.
Peace, brother. Salam alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
You ready to give your testimony, bro?
Yes.
So I'm going to help you out because, all right, I'm going to do most of the talking because a lot of the brothers and sisters, you know, they're not used to being to speaking before a crowd, you know, and before a camera. So, you know, I got my brother's back. I'm my brother's keeper. So I'm going to assist him in his testimony, him and everyone else that we're going to bring forth. But also wanted to note that the brother McKinley L, as well as everyone else that's being brought to speak on their testimony, their screen is not going to be on. So, and that's for security reasons because I already been down that road. So we're not going to allow you all, or not you all, but we're not going to allow the trolls or anybody else to come and try to bother them and disturb their peace. So for security reasons, I ask that they, you know, not display their faces, nor show their the first part of their name. But, you know, you already know what I look like, and you know what the brother George looks like. So it's all good. But brother McKinley L. McKinley L was dealing with a de facto foreclosure case. And when the case start, McKinley L?
2020.
2020. What was the result of that de facto foreclosure case? The result of it?
The result, it was closed.
What was it closed for?
A lack of jurisdiction.
Lack of jurisdiction and fraud.
And fraud.
Right on. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to the website so that we can pull up the brother McKinley L's case. Give me a second. All right. So I know I'm going to have to, you know, click the little tab thing. Okay. So I'm going to foreclosure cases. This is foreclosure cases on the website. And right here is the de facto case that the brother McKinley L was going through. And it was recently dismissed, like the brother said, for lack of jurisdiction and fraud. So briefly, brother, can you tell us what it is that you did initially when they brought this case? And I'm talking about starting from the point where, you know, you exercised your treaty rights and your right to inheritance.
Okay. I recorded adverse claim.
And I'll chime in every once in a while. When
Okay.
he said adverse claim, this is the affidavit of fact, adverse claim of title, and reversion of ancestral estate, Exhibit A. And this is what he's referring to. It was filed, and the ruling, because this is what I was told anyway by the clerk's office, the ruling was noted, no action, and then they signed it. And this is considered to be a certified copy. But go ahead, brother. You filed an adverse claim of title and reversion of ancestral estate.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
And then I recorded affidavit of fact, a writ quo warranto.
The writ of quo warranto. What was the writ of quo warranto doing?
It was letting them know that they had no jurisdiction over me.
Well, to be clear, quo warranto means by what authority? So it was challenging.
Okay.
I know. All right. So here's why the brother's saying that, he basically letting them know they ain't got no jurisdiction. I met this brother in what year was this, Brother McKinley L?
2015.
2015. When this is while I was still in the prisoner of war camp prison. When I first got transferred from medium maximum prison to minimum prison. And we were in the dorms. That's when I met the brother. And we were pretty much, because he was going to the Moorish Science Temple of America. I went there too. And eventually we started civic classes, and then which led to mock court. So we did all of that. So the brother already got the concepts down. So that's why he was like, look, I was letting them know I ain't had jurisdiction. But yeah, the brother's been on my heels while we was on there as far as like civics, because he's already been nationalized, and he came up with the traditions in the temple, the Moorish Science Temple of America, but he didn't know that much about the civic side, or what they would say the civic side. I say it's all together, civics and religion, same thing. Yeah, he issued a writ of quo warranto challenging the jurisdiction of this alleged court, as well as asserting his status, which includes his nationality, as well as his jurisdiction and venue assertion under consular jurisdiction.
Correct.
And not under some kangaroo court. Now, what else was done, brother?
After that, I recorded affidavit of fact, default judgment.
Default judgment. Now, what was the default judgment for?
If they didn't answer it, that the case was over.
That's right. Because the quo warranto served as an injunction. And when you look up quo warranto, the definition in Black's Law 4th or 5th edition, it says it is an extraordinary proceeding. That means it's a proceeding outside the ordinary proceeding. And it's prerogative in nature, and it's addressed to prevent the continued exercise of an authority that's unlawfully asserted. So quo warranto serves as an injunction. It's a whole nother proceeding within the records of the proceeding, of the original proceeding. So soon as that injunction was issued and they didn't respond, damn right the case is over. It was never a case in the beginning. Now, what was it that I was telling you? Because the brother McKinley L saw it. He did his documents on his own, by the way. The brother did his own documents, and he went on the website, this website right here. And I believe, which documents did you use as a template? Was it the documents right here, Fairfax County District Court?
Yeah, that's one of them.
One of them,
Yeah.
right on. And that's, here it is, the quo warranto, adverse claim, memorandum of trust showing that the trust exists, but you don't put your trust out there. It's supposed to be private. And default judgment and writ of error. And that case was also dismissed and closed. Nevertheless, the brother Also, he did it on his own, but they continued to move forward. He sought consular assistance. No, excuse me. You did a consultation first.
Correct.
Yeah, did a consultation. And then what is it that I told you that you had to do in that consultation, which was likely the reason why they were still moving forward, although they recorded your documents?
Told me to put in a writ of error.
No. As far as outside of the case.
Outside of the case, it was an adverse claim.
No. Let me remind you. I'm going to the Holy Covenant of the Asiatic nation. Number 3, where it says, prefer not a stranger before thy own blood. How would that be interpreted? In other words, if you got contracts or commercial agreements.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
If you got contracts and commercial agreements under the name McKinney, right? Then, and you know McKinney does not trace back to your ancient foremothers and forefathers, then yes, have you preferred a stranger before your own blood?
Yep.
Absolutely. Why? Because you're doing business in foreigners' names.
Yep.
So you can't declare your nationality and try to assert authority or exercise due process of law and challenge jurisdiction while still doing businesses in foreign names and not honoring your mother and your father, so that your days be long upon the earth land that the Lord thy God Allah have given you. No, your days are to be shortened because you preferred a stranger before your own blood. So what I instructed the brother was go back on those contracts and commercial agreements and declare your nationality, correct them. And those that you don't need, terminate them because they're unconstitutional anyway.
Correct.
And then the brother, you said you had a lawsuit, right?
Correct.
And the lawsuit, because you wasn't aware, the lawsuit came under the 14th Amendment. All lawsuits, when you go to their de facto venues pretending to be courts, they all come under the 14th Amendment. And the 14th Amendment is unconstitutional, which means it's unlawful. And it's void and unenforceable, which means they could pretend to give you a win, but if they don't want to pretend, they ain't got to.
Right.
And then when you go to that U.S. District Court out at Alexandria, Virginia, you all can look that court up too, that de facto court, U.S. District Court in Alexandria, Virginia on the front. The front of the venue, there is a representation of the Libra scale. It's a scale, right? And it's a woman that's blindfolded, holding up the Libra scale, and she's standing on a stone, which is on top of a turtle protruding out. You know, it's a statue of a turtle protruding out. You already know. If you don't know, the turtle represents Turtle Island, which is what North America is, Turtle Island. And on the top of the turtle's back is a stone that says, "Justice delayed, justice denied." It's in the front of the U.S. District Court. I've watched people go in and out of that de facto court. And right above their head, in the front door, it says, "Justice delayed, justice denied." But everybody going in there seeking justice. That's why I told the brother, retract or withdraw that lawsuit, man. Because the justice, the Jesus is you. Save yourself. So the brother went and got rid of the driver's license. What's all of what you did, bro?
I corrected my name on my driver's license. I canceled all my contracts. And my marriage certificate, I got rid of that, canceled that. And changed, dropped all bank accounts.
Under that slave name.
Yep.
Now, you don't have to drop them, just the FYI, but the brother dropped them because they were given a hard time with correcting the name, so he just got rid of them. And in other words, the brother got his affairs in order. he went out and what Drew Ali said, if you don't do anything else, proclaim your nationality. He did that. That is the first instruction, the first direction that was given by Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Declare your nationality if you don't do nothing else. So first things first, get your affairs in order. Declare your nationality in all of your affairs. And do business, all new business, in your free and national name. The free and national name is the name that you've been using in commerce that they call the straw name or the slave name, -L or -Bey. You don't want to put the hyphen, that's fine. Doesn't give up no damn jurisdiction, though. So don't follow that narrative. It's a false narrative. L or Bey at the end of the name. And you put it there. You don't petition for a de facto court and a colonizer or a subject to get permission from them to put L or Bey at the end of the name. No. How are you, a national, going to citizens and subjects to do something that you yourself were supposed to do? You have the power to do it your damn self. Not only that, you're going to a venue that's not even a damn court. But, you know, some people, and listen, I'm not trying to persuade anybody to do anything they don't want to do. I know some people want to go along to get along. Keep going. That way is painful. So the brother corrected his status. He got his affairs in order. And I had to follow up because the brother sought consular assistance after the consultation. Because consular jurisdiction cannot be exercised for anybody who's still living in sin. And I'll read from that too. I'm talking about the divine warning by the prophet for the nations. I'll remind you, active Moorish Americans, I ain't talking to the passive ones. You have a right to be passive. Go ahead. But the active Moorish Americans, listen to what of the words of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. The citizens of all free national governments, according to their national constitution, are all of one family bearing one free national name. Those who fail to recognize the free national name of their constitutional government are classed as undesirables. That's an international term, an international law term. Another word for undesirables is stateless or stateless persons. And then it says, and are subject to all inferior names and abuses and mistreatments that the citizens care to bestow upon them. And it is a sin for any group of people to violate the national constitutional laws of a free national government and cling to the names and the principles that delude to slavery. Clinging to names that delude to slavery is when you do business in a slave name. Clinging to principles that delude to slavery is when you are still looking for benefits under the 14th Amendment, including, you know, it's the good and the bad. Good teachers teach the good and the bad. If you're still not comfortable with exercising your right to travel without the driver's license, then yeah, by all means, keep the driver's license because you don't want to do anything outside of what you're comfortable of. But reserve your rights and correct the damn name and don't put race black. Don't put race white. You're not a white race. That's not your race. Race is species. Your race is Asiatic. Lastly known as human. Man with hue. We got hue. So correct your status in the driver's license at least and stop clinging to principles that delude to slavery. But eventually, get rid of the damn driver's license if you're nationalized. Another word for nationalization and decolonization is, and this quoted in the Bible, the Holy Bible, New Testament. Render unto Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and unto God what belongs to God. Give back Caesar his stuff, and take back what belongs to you. That's nationalization. All right.
I want to put up a comment. Someone's this comment.
that way will destroy you. That's why we're doing this. Tarik Bey's not destroyed. Dr. Hannibal Bey is not destroyed. I'm not destroyed. George is not destroyed. McKinley L's not destroyed. We ain't even get the Sister Wilkerson Bey or the brother Lawrence L. I mean, Lord, there's a number of people that are not destroyed. No, that way, whoever said that, if that's your belief, that way will destroy you. So keep going down your path. Because Drew Ali also said, I ain't wake all of you all up at once. He also said the half has not been told. We giving you the other half. So if you're not motivated to go that way, don't go that way.
Bro. Interjection. He say no, he's talking about keeping the 14th Amendment.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, all good.
Well, it wasn't clear because you had said you were saying something, what you were explaining that, and then that popped up at the same time. So, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe it was a delayed response, but for those, and I might as well address this too, because McKinley L had to stare death in the face. I had to stare death in the face. George had to stare death in the face, and these other guests that I'm going to bring up, they had to stare death in the face too. And what I mean is this: they had to stare death in the face, and they had to continue on their great missionary work. Because the Circle 7, let me get to the share screen. Right here. The Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America in chapter 1 talks about the creation and fall of man. Right here. And I'm doing two things at once, by the way. So if I keep pausing, it's because I'm trying to get the brother back on the phone. He just called back in. All right, there it is. Peace, brother. You there?
Yes, sir.
All right. For those that don't know, when you nationalize and you're talking about a birthright, right, as a Moorish American, right here in chapter 1, it says, perfected man must pass through all the ways of life. So it tells you you're perfect. You're not imperfect. It says, and so a cardinal nature was full manifest, a nature that sprang forth from fleshly things. This nature sprang forth from fleshly, or in other words, worldly things, the things that you can see with the five senses. Without a foe, a soldier never knows his strength. And thought must be developed by the exercise of strength. And so this cardinal nature soon became a foe that man must fight, that he might be the strength of Allah made manifest. This is called a rite of passage. Your birthright is a rite of passage. And in order for you to be the strength of Allah made manifest, you got to have a foe. What better foe than your cardinal nature? That's who your real foe is. So when they shoot situations at you, guess what they're triggering? Your lower self, your cardinal nature. And thought must be developed by the exercise of strength. Noble Ali said, if I can get you Moors to thinking again, you save yourself. But there's other Moors that's trying to stop you from thinking, so that you can't save yourself. And they still trying to keep you for under the thoughts of somebody else. No. You're supposed to study and then show thyself approved. That's 2 Timothy chapter 2 in the Bible. Study and show thyself approved. Then it says, let every living thing stand still and hear. Man is the Lord of all the plane of manifest, of protoplasm, of mineral, of plant, of beast. They just told you your rule, your rulership. Then it says, but he gave up his birthrights just to gratify his lower self. But man will regain his lost estate, his heritage. Heritage is inheritance. Heritage is inheritance. But he must do it in a conflict that cannot be told in words. Yea, that means yes. He must suffer trials and temptations manifold. Why is it that there are Moorish Americans looking for benefits without the responsibility. And chapter 1 says, you must suffer trials and temptations manifold. You must do it in a conflict that cannot be told in words. In other words, it's a rite of passage. You must be tested. But, you know, Bible said that our people were hard-headed and stiff-necked. And we're always entitled. We feel like we don't want to work for nothing. We feel like we want to just make claim and they just have to recognize it. Absolutely not. Noble Drew Ali did not come and save anybody. Moorish Science Temple of America was not put into place to save you. He said, take the information and save yourself. No prophet saved anybody. They came, all the prophets came to teach us how to save ourselves. Read the Bible again, read the Quran again. Taught you how to save yourself, not go look for somebody to save you or wait for some invisible being to come down from the clouds and, you know, line everybody up and then, like, you know, start passing out, like Taj say, peanut butter sandwiches. So
here's somebody who's, and this might be something that other folks are thinking about in terms of when you're saying, get rid of this, get rid of this. When this, they say they're on disability and collected through the system, can't afford to let the system take their benefits away. I mean, what would you say? Social Security, disability, pensions, things like that. How,
right on.
That might be deterrent.
Yeah, I got that. So that's the next topic anyway. McKinley L., the brother, he exercised his rights to due process of law. He also got his affairs in order and declared his nationality in commerce and all of the contracts and commercial agreements that he had, or he terminated the other ones. And then he petitioned to Morocco Consular Court, and he had to be in right standing in order to do that. And because he's in right standing, yes, Consular Court issued a writ of error, and it's on the website. I'm just moving forward, but issued a writ of error as well as a default judgment, and the case then was dismissed and closed for lack of jurisdiction and fraud, and the brother still possessing his domicile. So thank you. Congratulations, Brother McKinley L., and thank you for saving yourself, because you saving yourself helps other people save themselves. That's why Noble Drew Ali said, take this and save yourself. Yeah. So thank you, brother, for being faithful.
Thank you.
You got anything to say?
Yeah, I still getting disability. I still get my check. So it never affected my Social Security.
Yeah, it doesn't. You still see Social Security. Social, you look up the definition of social, look up the definition of security. The security is the Sister Q trust estate. That's the all cap name. And the Social Security number is the routing number to that account. The name, that all cap name, is the name of the account. That's the security. So they're not sending you or cutting you a check from their assets. And the account is closed. Everybody's saying, yeah, it's an account with billions of dollars. No, the hell it's not. It's not an account that has money in it. Money's gold and silver, by the way. Credit and fiat paper is not money. And you all should know the difference. And look up the definition of dollar. You said, oh, okay, I thought you said something. So the brother, you know, he's still receiving the quote unquote benefits because those benefits coming from his own estate. That's why they're cutting checks. A check is a promissory note from that Sister Q trust estate. And he's still using the fiat to take care of whatever he needs to take care of. But we're going to move forward. Brother, anything else you wanted to say?
I just like to give you thanks and praise to Noble Ali and Tarik Bey and you, Consul General Lamont. You know, you did a great job. Without you, these things wouldn't happen.
Islam, brother, I appreciate that, man. And I want to bring the honors back to you because you're active and you're showing instead of just speaking, you're showing. And now that you done saved yourself and you know how to save yourself, because all I did was train and coach you. You now know how to save yourself and you ain't giving up your birthright. You actually have an inheritance that your children and your grandchildren and so on and so forth can speak about for ages because you just broke that generational curse in your bloodline.
Yes.
So thank you, brother. Thank you. And honors to Noble Drew Ali because he brought us this saving power to save ourselves. Honors to everybody from that lineage all the way down to C.M. Bey, Charles Mosley Bey, Taj Tarik Bey, and Dr. Hannibal, and everyone else that was part of the Order of the Great Seal and the Moors Order of the Round Table that did this great missionary work and pushed us this far so that we can take it further. Much honors to you all. And thank you again, Brother McKinley L., for the testimony. I want to go to the next testimony, Sister Wilkinson Bey, so that we can talk about this fiat. Sister Wilkinson Bey, you there?
Peace. Yes.
Peace, sister. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. You ready to give your testimony?
Sure.
Noble Drew Ali gave us something to shout about.
Yes, he did.
So let's get to it. Let me do another screen share. So this is the Sister Wilkinson Bey, and she was dealing with, where is it at? Where we at? Give me a second. I'm going back to the website, enforcetheconstitution.org. Why does it seem like it keeps disappearing? All right, let me pull it up again. Give me a second. All right. Now I'm going to the web page titled Mortgage Disputes. And for the sake of Mother Dr. G and your platform, I'm not going to show the picture of this gentleman, but I am going to give his name, Tim Weens. He's acting as CEO of Santander Bank. So for those that have their mortgage with Santander Bank, pull out your pen and paper and get ready to take notes, because the Sister Sharice just caught the CEO or whoever this is in the Santander executive office admitting to fraud. So, Sister Sharice, can you give us a brief synopsis? And of course, I'm going to help you explain, but could you give us a brief synopsis of what you did?
Sure. I first reached out to Enforce the Constitution to explain the situation, what was going on with the alleged mortgage, and drafted up some documents, and I studied the documents, got tested on the documents dealing with the alleged mortgage. I realized I was sending, at the time, I was sending payments, which are notes, at the time to an account. And in actuality, it was fiat. I thought I was sending
Payment.
In actuality, they were not payments. They were gifts.
Also called dedonis.
Dedonis, correct. And so once I sent that, and I found out what was going on, and I realized that being that the mortgage was a dead pledge. When I went to the meeting at the settlement table to get to I'm gonna go back to at the settlement at closing. When I was at closing and I signed the documents, you know, I was happy. I thought I got a new home. I'm a homeowner, you know. In actuality, when I signed those documents, the mortgage was already discharged at that moment. I never knew that. So during the process, we did an affidavit of dispute. I sent to them. I was getting notice. I mean,
wait. Before you move further,
huh?
did an affidavit of dispute. Let me pull it up so that everybody can see. And because we also taking away excuses, all the excuses that people try to come with. And I'm only talking to the people that are looking to take responsibility, not the people that's looking for benefits or the people that's looking for followers. I'm talking to the people that are looking to be responsible for their affairs. The sister says she did an affidavit of dispute. Here it is right here. Affidavit of dispute, Exhibit A. Right here. And you see it's right on the website. So everybody can pull it up, scrutinize it, download it, print it off, study it, make comments. But guess what you can't do? You can't deny it. She did an affidavit of dispute. And I'll help you out from here, sister. The mortgage statement that was sent to her was disputed with this affidavit of dispute. You see, she's in law, you got to be specific. She said, in the matter of the misrepresented instruments, bill of attainder, form bills of exchange, titled mortgage statement, dated January 1st, 2024, associated with this account number, and her ancestral estate and reversion, known as, and she put the street address, city, and state, and we've redacted that. And she disputed. This is what, now, you all can read it on your own time. She also asserted her nationality, citizenship, and status, because that's the first issue of law. And the second, she asserted her jurisdiction and venue. In an event that there's a dispute from their side and there can be no settlement from this dispute that she's raising, then the dispute will be decided in consular court and venue, according to her treaty rights. Then she did the discovery and disclosure. And in this discovery and disclosure, and I'm pointing this out because somebody brought up, you know, the fiat thing, right? The benefits. Number 4, verify the specific specie in the loan agreement that was allegedly lent, borrowed, which must be returned as payment. A, gold and silver coins, which would be the lawful money, dollars, tendered for payment of debts per Article 1, Section 10, Clause 1 of the Constitution for the United States of North America, or B, private, corporate, commercial paper, Federal Reserve notes, or securities, checks, which are unconstitutional counterfeit coins and do not constitute payment. So, Sister Sharice, at the settlement and closing meeting, right?
Yes.
Did they actually lend you any gold and silver coins?
Not at all.
They never produced it?
No.
All right. Did they even produce Federal Reserve notes, like a stack of Federal Reserve notes at the table?
No, absolutely not.
They didn't even produce the Federal Reserve notes. So what was lent to you? What did you borrow?
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing. I wonder how many people this applies to out there with mortgages. Because when you look at the word dollar, I'll do it. I'm going to Google, and be careful, y'all, because they may change this definition up in Google now that we're talking about it. So you might as well catch it while you can. Dollar. Look what it says. Going to the origin. Because above this, you know, they talking right here, this connotation. Basic monetary unit of the U.S., Canada, Australia, etc. No. Dollar is a German word. It's actually Thaler, and it's short for Jacobsthaler. And it means, right here, a coin from the silver mine of Jacobsthal Jacquem's Valley, now Yakimov, in the Czech Republic. The term was later applied to a coin used in the Spanish American colonies, which was also widely used in the British North American colonies at the time of the American War of Independence, hence adopted as the name of the U.S. monetary unit in the 18th century. So the word dollar is a coin. It's not digital and it's not paper. It's not crypto. It's a coin. It's physical. So if they're saying that they lent you X amount of dollars, then and they didn't lend you X amount of dollars, what in the hell are you paying them back? They didn't lend you anything. Furthermore, you're not even paying them because Article 1, Section 10 of the Constitution, and I'll go to it. And this is what he meant. He said the great missionary work is the enforcement of the Constitution. Why are there Moorish Americans sitting on their hands and not enforcing the Constitution? I don't know. But this is what happens when you enforce and obey the laws of the government as being part and parcel of the government. This is what happens. Article 1, Section 10, Clause 1, no state shall make anything but gold and silver coin a tender in payment of debts. Now, Sharice, you don't want to break the law, do you?
I sure don't.
If you continue to send them Federal Reserve notes or checks or money orders or the swipe of a card, you know, the digital, put the credit card or debit card payment in to make payment for your mortgage, is that breaking the law?
Yes, it is.
So, or let me say this, would that be considered overthrowing the laws of the government?
Yes.
All right, some people got some explaining to do. Don't explain to me. I don't need to hear you. You got to explain to those people that you told that mess to. And I ain't talking to you, Cerise. I'm talking about the people that's speaking against enforcing the Constitution, which you're speaking against what Noble Drew Ali brought and instructed us, even in the divine Constitution and bylaws of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Let's move forward. So, wrong page, right here. So, Sister Sharice, you did an affidavit of dispute. Next, you did an adverse claim of title, like the brother McKinley L., right?
Yes.
All right. And here is the certified mail receipts and return receipts showing the proof of service that she sent these documents, and they were delivered to the CEO of Santander Bank. So, did they respond, Sister Sharice?
No, they never responded.
They never responded, but they did send some instruments to you, didn't they?
Yes.
All right. First instrument being this right here. This is delinquent notice dated February 17th, 2024. And it was addressed to the slave name, the corporate name, right?
Yes.
Right here. And no one signed it. No one put their name at the bottom, so you don't know who sent this, right?
I sure don't.
Okay. So let's go back. Oops. I just stopped the screen share. Give me a second. All right. So now we're going back to the paper trail. And the next thing was sent from them was this response letter dated March 11th, 2024. And it reads, Dear Blank Wilkinson, this is in response to your letter received February 26, 2024, which purports to eliminate your debt on the basis of fraud. We apologize for the delay in our response to your message. Please note that we are required to handle inquiries in the order they were received and per the Real Estate Settlement Procedures Act, which ain't got nothing to do with us. That's a legislation. It's actually a bill of attainder, another one. We have up to 30 business days to respond to inquiries. right? We'll move forward. It says, as of March 5th, 2024, your loan is past due for your February 2024 payment of $1,436.17. Please see the attached copy of your most recent bill statement dated February 16, 2024, and the late fee notice dated March 2nd, 2024. Then they go into, if you're experiencing financial hardship at this time, et cetera, et cetera. No, they're experiencing financial hardship. Moving forward, look what it says. Sincerely, Research Department. Who the hell is that? You ever met somebody named Research Department, Sharice?
No.
No, you have not.
No, I haven't.
And I know I'm supposed to have been calling you Wilkerson Bey. I've been talking to you almost every day. So you and a few others, I hope I don't, give that up when the other ones come on. But moving back to the paper trail. The next response letter is dated June 25th. Still addressed to the straw name Wilkerson. This letter is in response to your correspondence received into our department on June 10th, 2024 and June 20th, 2024 regarding the above mentioned loan. Now, I didn't post the notice of error because the sister sent in a notice of error and it slipped my mind to post it. But they're responding to the notice of error because Sister Sharice sent the notice of error because of the errors that they're making. You all are sending instruments in the slave name. She responded to you as Wilkerson Bey. You're still sending it to Wilkinson. Not only that, your correspondence doesn't even have a name of from the person who sent it. It just says Research Department. Now, this one says, our records reflect that this loan was referred to our local attorney on June 7, 2024 in order to initiate foreclosure proceedings. So now they're making threats. Please contact the following law firm for further foreclosure information regarding this loan. Our records reflect that this loan is due for February 1st, 2024. So they're still talking about past due payments. So this is intimidation, but this time it's from the default litigation specialist. Somebody signed it, but there's no name. Once again, that's fraud. So we're going back, and let me just clear up some things. And then came this letter right here. And for some reason, they have the word confidential at the top left-hand corner of this letter, which is dated October 25th, 2024. Still addressing the slave name, the corporate name Wilkerson. We are writing in response to the complaint filed with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which was forwarded to the Executive Office of Santander Bank, N.A., on August 27, 2024. We understand your concerns. We understand your complaint concerns. 1, your name on file for your mortgage account ending in 1835 mortgage. Okay, so now they want to talk about the name because we've been said that. 2, your request for confirmation of debt for the mortgage property located at blank, Maryland. Oh, so now y'all want to address the validation of the debt. Y'all are already in default. And 3, that all collection activities cease. Well, this right here, this is the notice of default right here. No, excuse me, the affidavit of dispute. And at the bottom of the affidavit of dispute, it says, you have 5 days from your receipt of this affidavit of dispute to answer, produce the above commanded evidence, or to rebut point by point on a written affidavit signed under penalty of perjury. No action can be taken by you or your agents during this validation period. So that's what they're referring to. So going back, look what they're saying now. Our review of this matter found that our mortgage servicing department previously addressed this matter, and we have enclosed their responses. Dated March 11, 2024, we read that one. June 25th, 2024, that was the threat of the foreclosure. And October 16th, 2024. We're going to read that one. Lastly, on September 5th, 2024, the bank received payment for your mortgage in full. Sister Sharice, did you send them full payment of the mortgage on September 2024?
No, I did not. No, I didn't.
So why in the hell are they saying that they received the full payment for the mortgage? And look what it says, respectfully yours, Santander Executive Office. And they CC'd the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Let's go to October 16th letter. Let's go there. Here's the October 16th letter. And yes, there is big, bold letters that says evidence of fraud and there being no valid debt. Here's the letter. Dear Wilkinson, thank you for your correspondence. They thanked you. Well, they thanked the straw. Dated August 15, 2024, that was received on August 20th, 2024, where you raised the following issues. 1, misrepresented instruments, bills of attainder, foreign bills of exchange titled as Orland's PC, executed August 15. I don't know what they meant right here. Never did. And received on our department August 20th. 2, letters sent regarding the issues referenced in this communication did not receive a response. We have fully investigated the issues you raised and have determined that no action was required to address these issues because no error occurred. They're responding to, once again, the notice of error. Despite this conclusion and in an effort to improve your experience, we have taken the following steps. The funds required to pay this loan in full were received on September 5th, 2024, and have been applied to the account. Enclosed is a copy of your recorded certificate of satisfaction. Okay, let's go. Let's go to it. Right here, and then once again, this is from the default litigation specialist, whoever the hell that is. Here's the certificate of satisfaction. Now, I know a lot of you all may have never seen this before. You should check your local land records where the mortgage is filed at. Some of you all may have already filed this in land records for the estate that you're still pretending to pay on. Certificate of satisfaction. As of September 6, 2024, Santander Bank National Association Sovereign Bank does hereby acknowledge that the indebtedness secured by a certain deed of trust mortgage note made by Wilkinson as mortgagor, John W. Smith as trustee to Sovereign Bank as beneficiary, dated August 24th, 2006, and recorded October 3rd, 2006 in Prince George's County, in the state of Maryland, in Lieber, blah, folio, etc., was fully paid and discharged. Let me ask you a question, Sharice.
Yeah.
Can something be fully paid and discharged?
No.
Why is that?
Because it only could be discharged.
Because to pay something, what would that require?
Gold or silver coins.
Gold and silver coins. So it wasn't paid in full.
No.
It was discharged. Let me give you all the law, the United States Code that they are required to discharge. Because people are like, oh, we got to discharge the debt. No, the hell, we don't have to discharge anything. It's 12 USC 95A, Part 2. And anybody that follows the teachings of Tarik Bey, you know that he's been saying this for years. This is Title 12, Banks and Banking, Chapter 2, National Banks, Subchapter 4, Regulation of the Banking Business, Powers and Duties of National Banks. Subsection 95A, Regulation of Transactions in Foreign Exchange of Gold and Silver, property transfers, vested interests, enforcement, and penalties. Paragraph number 2. It reads, any payment, conveyance, and just for those that can't follow, we right here. Any payment, conveyance, transfer, assignment, or delivery of property or interest therein made to or made for the account of the United States or as otherwise directed, pursuant to this section or any rule, regulation, instruction, or direction issued hereunder, shall to the extent thereof be a full acquittance and discharge. It doesn't say payment. It says acquittance and discharge for all purposes of the obligation of the person making the same. And since this is a statute, they're talking about statutory persons, which is not humans. Statutory persons, the corporate person, such as Wilkinson, or the all-cap name on your mortgage. And no person shall be held liable in any court for or in respect to anything done or omitted in good faith in connection with the administration of or in pursuance of and in reliance on this section or any rule, regulation, instruction, or direction issued hereunder. In other words, this is the new House Joint Resolution 192 of June 5th, 1933. That was repealed. This is in play now. So all debts are discharged. They're discharged already. They don't exist. You don't have to do anything to discharge a debt. Don't let nobody sell you a package talking about they can help you discharge your debts. They are fooling you. And if you already went through that, don't worry, because wisdom should come out of that. Remember, experience is the best teacher, but the school of the fools. We all had to go through that school called experience. Chapter 1 of the Circle 7 says it must be done through a conflict that can't be told in words. Conflicts that can't be told in words are called experience. So if you're dodging the experience, this ain't for you. This message is not for you. If you have went through the experience of dirty Moors selling you some type of package where they could discharge a debt, etc., then you should have take that as you paying for that lesson. All right? And remember that the responsibility is yours for you to save yourself, not for somebody else to save you or for some process to save you. Save yourself. Now, getting back right here. Here we go. So, debt wasn't paid in full. The debt was discharged. Now, let me ask you a question, Sharice. How do you feel about this? Knowing that since 2006, you've been giving them fiat paper as gifts just for you to find out in 2024 that the debt never existed and it was discharged at closing. That's why they call it closing, because it's closed. How does that make you feel?
I was a little emotional when I realized that I was gifting someone or shelter on the land. Like, to me, that don't make any sense at all. Like, I was upset. I was grateful that I received that certificate of satisfaction, but letter, I always seen that in land and records, but I never thought, like, I could have printed that out myself. That's how I looked at it. I could have printed that out. That's what they did. But
exactly.
I felt like
they didn't even notify you about it.
Yeah, I got. Everybody has.
That's
so
right.
No one knows.
That's right.
Nobody shouldn't have to gift anyone those many notes.
Well, remember, that's not what it necessarily is. It's birthright theft.
Yeah.
No one sold you property. No one transferred title to you.
No.
That never happened. When you read the deed and it says that the property was conveyed in fee simple is feudalism.
Mm-hmm.
That's sharecropping. You actually escheated or abandoned your estate when you signed that deed. Because that deed is color of law. Go to the definition of color of law because we don't have time to do that on here. But you'll go to definition of color of law in the Black's Law Dictionary, 4th or 5th edition, and you'll see it for yourself. In the last definition, in the 5th edition, the last part of the definition of color of law gives the description of a deed. Read it carefully.
Mm-hmm.
That's color of, excuse me. Not color of law, color of title.
Mm-hmm.
The last part of the definition of color of title in the Black's Law Dictionary, 5th edition, gives the description of a deed. That everybody thinks that they running around thinking you own property, waving that around. That is not proof of ownership. And there's only 2 types of title to property: allodial title and aboriginal title. Aboriginal title is superior to allodial title, although it's allodial in nature. Allodial means free and not subject to any feudal burdens or duties, such as land tax, the air tax, the water tax, the gas tax, the sewage tax. All of those are taxes that come by way of that mortgage. So it's called birthright theft, and they're getting you to consent to the birthright theft. And if we had time, of course, you already know. Those that know me know that I'll go deep into it to prove, first starting with the definition. You want to go to the definition, I'll give you all this much. Go to the word attorney in the Black's Law, 5th edition, and then drop the Y off attorney, and then look up attorn with the E at the end. Then drop the E off of attorney, and then look up the word attorn. And then you'll get the true meaning of what attorney is. It's to consent to the transfer of a reversion. Or in other words, to give up your estate that you previously owned to that of a stranger and promise payment of rent to him, the stranger. Remember, the Holy Covenant of the Asiatic nations said, prefer not a stranger before your own blood. Then you want to look up the term attornment, because that's the whole word of attorn. And once you study those terms, then you'll know the true nature of an attorney. And you'll know, if you look up the bios of all of those de facto judges that's claiming to be, judicial officers, right? Magistrates, look up their bios. They're all attorneys. That's why you're having the problems that you're having. It ain't about, do the right process and all of that. No, it's war. It's war, it's genocide, it's birthright theft. They're organized criminals, still organized, and they still have oaths and obligations to uphold and support the supreme law of the land. But guess what you have to do? You cannot enforce law if you yourself are not held to it. If you're not in alignment with the supreme law of the land, you can't enforce the supreme law of the land, starting with your status. So, Sister Sharice, with that being said, in the process of you disputing this mortgage statement, what did you have to do in relation to those old contracts and commercial agreements that had that slave name?
I had to terminate them and or either correct them.
You had to correct them, all of them, right?
Yes.
What'd you do with the driver's license?
Terminated.
What'd you do with the bank accounts?
Trying to correct them.
You're in the process of that now. And if you can't correct them, what you gonna do with it?
Terminate them.
Right on.
Mm-hmm.
Because we want to honor the law. We want to, like the divine constitution and bylaws of the Moorish Science Temple of America says, we want to obey the laws of the government, right or wrong?
Yes, of course.
Now, when you obey the laws of the government, you get a favorable reply. Here it is. Thank you, Sister Sharice, for that wonderful testimony.
Gratitude. Thank you.
And that's a sister. That's a mother. That's who we've been waiting for. Give Sister Wilkinson Bey, let's say 6 more months, and then see how she's talking. I can't wait. And she ain't the only one. She is far from the only one. It's a whole bunch of soldier sisters that's in our classes. And I'm proud to say that. Moving forward, I want to bring the brother. Say that again.
Can I give you a little bit of information?
Well, you ready to give testimony now?
No, sir. I just want to give you an update on 12 USC 95A.
The update of 12 USC 95A. Dr. G, are you able to hear him?
I do.
You can hear? Okay. Go ahead.
It's faint.
This is.
It is now quoted as 50 USC 4305 D2 since April 16th, 2018.
Oh, they changed it. So it's updated to Title 50, and that's the Trading with the Enemy Act, right?
Yes, sir.
Title 50, United States Code, what is it?
Title 50 USC 4305 B2.
4305. You said B is in Bravo?
Yes, sir.
The letter B is in Bravo, the number 2. That's that's what Title 12 USC 95A paragraph 2 was. Now it's Title 50. But thank you, Brother Stuart L. And Islam. Brother Lawrence L., you there? Lawrence L., you there?
I'm here. Peace.
Islam, peace. This is one of the big ones that you all really need to hear. So this brother right here, he was kidnapped. Let me go. You don't mind that I showed this kidnapping, do you, brother?
Not at all. Full disclosure.
Full disclosure. All right. This brother right here was kidnapped. And hold on, give me a second. Okay, here we go. And this was back in, I want to say August, right? August 1st?
August the 1st.
August the 1st, 2024. And it was dealing with a violation of parole. And for those that don't know, I just uploaded 2 new tabs. One is Civic Workshop videos, so that all of the videos that's not on YouTube, that they restricted for us to put on YouTube, we have it on Vimeo or Vimeo, whatever it's called. And it's right here accessible on the website, enforcetheconstitution.org. These are all the civic classes that were not uploaded on YouTube. And right here is demonstration videos. Now, this video right here is the brother Freddie Lawrence L. Or excuse me, Freddie L. I apologize. Didn't mean this. It's all good. They can't see your face anyway. So, but this right here is brother at Baltimore. He's at Baltimore, Maryland. And this is the was this Baltimore police? SWAT? Or was SWAT. Is Baltimore City or Baltimore County?
It was Baltimore County at the Baltimore City area.
Okay. Yeah, so they came with the SWAT, and they're right here in this area. There's a little truck. And this is supposed to have been for an alleged violation of parole.
That's correct.
They did all of this so that they can create a narrative and for everybody to be discouraged from whatever this brother right here that's laying on the ground was telling people, because he was going to the hedges and the highways and spreading the gospel, the good news about our nationality and our birthright. So this is them trying to discourage, just like how they did George and I and everyone else that's attempting to enforce the Constitution.
They better not shoot man person. They got the fucking SWAT team.
I don't know if y'all can.
Oh my God.
But that was the video. So the brother got kidnapped. Now, can you give us briefly, brother, the ramifications around you getting kidnapped? Now, first, I'll say this part. I met this brother, Lawrence L., I want to say 2018, when I was still in the prisoner of war camp, and it was right before I got released. And I had denied the parole for 5 years. The 5 whole years that I was in prison, I was denying parole because I said, I'm going to get out by way of writ of habeas corpus. And I did. But we'll get into that later. But the 2018, and met the brother. We were going to the Moorish Science Temple of America at Eastern Correctional Institution. And 2019, told him I was getting out on parole. I just made, went to the parole hearing, and under protest and duress, I signed the parole agreement, and they released me on parole in 2019. But I told the brother to study, protest, right, bro?
Protest, that's correct.
I said, study the word protest. And I told him I'm getting out on parole under protest, and I signed under protest. Now, what happened since then, brother Maurice L., Lawrence L.?
After you were out, you did remain in contact by way of leaving a contact number for myself and another more, OC Black L. We continued to build for a short period of time before they continued to send surges through your phone, which affected your phone beyond just our calls, but also altogether, whereby it was necessary for you to get rid of the phone and the number. This was when the COVID pandemic came into play. Everything was moving kind of slow at that time, and we were not in touch. However, I absolutely did study protests. It was very rewarding, to say the least, to do that study. We were in contact again 2021, you and I. I received your new telephone number and was able to gain access at that time in 2021, at which time you had made me aware of something that I was not aware of, which was 2 things. One, it was the enforcement of consular jurisdiction and venue at the Maryland state. And it was done on behalf of our national, Jafar L.
And that was to be exact, that was June. I want to say 17th. June 17th, 2021. Yeah. And that's what's on YouTube. Yeah, that's what's on YouTube.
You said I have good news for you, Freddie, and you told me about that. Also, you made me aware of the Consular Notification and Access Manual, 2018 5th edition, of which I had no knowledge of. And it happened to be the main missing piece that benefited me to study. You told me that they had it at the library and to go and demand it, and to make sure that I got awareness of the flow chart and the requirements. And I do say again, requirements. That is to say, it is not subject to their discretion. It is a requirement that they respond appropriately when the heirs of the land invoke their treaty secured rights to consular jurisdiction. At that particular time, I had done so September the 25th, 2021, invoked my treaty secured rights to consular jurisdiction. I also had gotten, they wouldn't give me the whole entire book, but they gave me the necessary pages and the flow chart as I demanded. That would be the librarian, or the one that was acting as librarian, and I studied it. Furthermore, we moved forward, and I must say that the case management department did not respond appropriately as the one that hosted the event of my invocation of my treaty secure rights of consular jurisdiction. He was acting as, in their rank and file, Lieutenant Clayton, foreign harbor European male, who, in front of my face, responded appropriately, sent the email communication to those that are sitting and acting in the seat of case management department. They never responded appropriately, and I remained there. The rest of 2022 came in, and at that particular time, I found out that 3 particular times where I was supposedly on the information of the straw appeared reviews 3 times back to back. That would be 2019, 2020, and 2021. At no time was I brought forward, as was shown to me in 2022, about the month of May, at which time I was shown by the foreign hybrid European female that highlighted sections showed that there was a court hold keeping me from being able to even have the window of opportunity. Thereby, I was absolutely still in contact with Consul General. I was still receiving consular assistance. I was still being reports at my request as to and the Moors, and most certainly the Emir himself, Grand Sheik, Tarik Bey, and the fact that I knew that we were active and I needed to be out there. What happened then was I was pushed. And I have a tendency about myself that when you push me against the wall, you made a big mistake. At that particular time, what I did was go to the Moorish literature. And I remembered something that the Most Noble said in those writings. And he said, it was said that as a matter of defense, in the very moment, we have the ability and capacity to invoke the abundant, unknown powers latent in a prophet, Noble Drew Ali. I knew that these people were trying to bury me in there for 15 years for declaring my nationality on April the 1st, 2015.
Interjection, brother. So we got like a few minutes left, and I want to get everybody on.
Absolutely.
But yeah,
so we'll move forward to the December the 28th. After doing what was necessary on my part, which will come at another time, if necessary, I was trafficked from ECI Corporation Company Prisoner War Camp to Central Maryland Correctional Facility Corporation Company Prisoner War Camp. That is to say, coming from medium security level down to pre-release level.
Hold on, wait, interjection. So get to the part where you got out on parole. How'd you get out on parole? What'd you do?
Because of the scheduled parole hearing for January 25th.
No, I mean, like, how did you sign the instrument?
Under protest All rights reserved.
So you signed under protest. Does
All
that
rights reserved.
does that make the contract invalid
It made it invalid
and unenforceable, right?
and unenforceable.
Right on. So, and what when was that? That was you said when what day?
January the 1st, 2025 was the day of the colorable parole hearing. May the 25th is the day that I stepped into my liberty.
What year was that?
2023.
2023. So from 2023 to August 1st,
2024.
that invalid and unenforceable contract was lingering. And then you was kidnapped because you were doing what you could to assist other Moorish Americans, correct?
Correct.
That's right. When you went to the parole hearing, after you was kidnapped, you contacted me, and I told you, I said, look, bro, if you got yourself in there, you got to get yourself out, right?
That's correct.
I said that you got to save yourself, right?
That's correct.
I said, I am not giving you consular assistance, did I not?
Yes, you did.
Right on. And what did you say?
I said, I will get myself out.
Right. And you also made mention that we didn't study a lot, right?
Yes, we did.
So that you got this. And I was interested, and I said, make sure you continue to call me and keep me updated, right?
Yes, you did.
All right. And then when that day came where, you invoked your treaty right to consular jurisdiction, case manager reached out to my email. Long story short, we didn't even get the talk where I get to give you consular notification and access.
No.
Not at all. You went to the parole hearing. What happened at the parole hearing? Give it up in brief, like within 2 minutes.
In 2 minutes. Real plain and simple. It was made clear for the record jurisdiction was already challenged in the form of affidavits, rescission of signature, as well as writ of error, and that they were in default. Also, that hearing that they called for was unenforceable, and that the decision was already made.
So,
therefore,
question. While you was in there, you did a handwritten rescission of signature on a parole agreement, right?
That's correct.
And same for your marriage license. You rescinding that signature on the marriage license, right?
That's correct.
And you addressed any other contracts or commercial agreements that you had out there, you corrected them or terminated them while you was in prison, right?
While behind the wall.
And then when you went...
By the way, to be clear, I was married twice, so the second one I'm doing now.
Okay. So when you went before the hearing and they moved forward and they were attempting to make the deliberation and you interceded and you asked them if they were going to exercise judicial power at that point, right?
That's correct.
And he said yes, right?
Yes.
Right. And at that point, you challenged him, right?
Yes, I did.
What'd you say?
I said I see that it is necessary, therefore, to challenge jurisdiction. At which time I demanded that he produce for the record his certified delegation of authority order that was received by him from the Continental Congress, vesting him with judicial powers from the third branch of government to adjudicate matters of diversity of nationality and citizenship. Furthermore, that he was already calling himself the commissioner, already in default for the original writ of rescission, Exhibit 1, and writ of error, Exhibit 2. And it was my intention to pursue him and all of them with him under the precedent set in Trezevan versus City of Tampa, 1.6 million per each day unlawfully detained. And furthermore, for continuing to try to move that de facto parole hearing further, I was going to also pursue him under Burleson versus Texas with compensatory and punitive damages, which would triple that amount per day. and that I am absolutely a Moor, not a subject of these dominions, and that he himself is the subject, and the matter is ordered dismissed. On the record, for the record, let the record show.
At that point, the parole commissioner that was overseeing the hearing,
yes,
talked to the case manager and the parole agent, and they both spoke against you, right?
Yes.
And you were looking at backup time, which is under color of law, of course, for the purpose of hostage holding and human trafficking. And then the parole commissioner said what? After he heard from those two, the case manager and the parole agent, what did the parole commissioner say?
He said, parole is continued. I'm going to give you the paperwork. He does not have to sign it. Don't worry about it. He's not going to sign it, but he's leaving today.
So they gave a window. This is called a window. Tarik Bey talks about windows, but it is not a window for Lawrence L. It was a window for them.
Exactly.
It make it appear as if it's doing Lawrence L a favor. They didn't do Lawrence L a favor. They did themselves a favor because they don't have no bond to hold him on.
Exactly.
One, he enforced the fact that he signed that parole agreement under protest. Two, he rescinded his parole agreement, the signature on the parole agreement. He's taking his responsibility. He's saving himself. And then they say, oh, yeah, we're going to just release him back on parole. He doesn't have to worry about signing no contracts or none of that. Just still release him. And they released him the same day. And now the brother is going to be issued a writ of habeas corpus for his release from Morocco Consular Court.
Yes.
Because that's what the parole people are waiting for right now. And we're putting that together so that that could be issued. Islamism without the schism, Brother Freddie Lawrence L. Congratulations.
Thank you, but I appreciate you. And let's just be real clear for the record. This is real quick. I know this brother. I know for a fact that he is absolutely one of the ones the Most Noble was talking about that will come forth in these days and times with his eyes wide open, both seeing and knowing, and having all those that are stuck in colorable ways of betrayal against the Most Noble to sit their ass in the back and watch this movement move forward while he and those like him, and I'm one of them, fulfill his law. All honor to the Most Noble himself, Tarik Bey, and Consul General Lamont Maurice. Peace to you all.
Peace and love, brother. And all honors to you too, brother, for saving yourself, because you saving yourself and people hearing your testimony of you saving yourself is encouraging them to save themselves. The ones that it applies to anyway, not the ones that's looking for benefits. But thank you, brother, and much honor. He stared death in the face. He stared backup time in the face and still moved forward on truth. And they kicked him out. He didn't go and beg with his tail between his legs. He stood, he laced up his bootstraps. He didn't look for no benefits. He moved forward on truth because truth don't need nobody to defend it. It defends itself and it defends you as soon as you speak it. Peace and love, brother. And like I said, honors to you. And last, but certainly not least, and I'll just mention the brother Stuart L. He's working on doing the same thing right now. He's at Jessup Correctional Institution, been there for 13 plus years. And that's where I met him at. And the brother knows me just like the brother Lawrence L. knows me, because we both met in the Dismal Crypts where they strip everything away from you. And all you got is your word and your character, your principles. So people find you out real fast in prison. But moving forward, and the brother, he's studying and showing himself approved. Talking about the brother Stuart L. Moving forward, about me. And I'll make this quick, Dr. G. I'll try not to go over time. And I want to say, what was it, November, and I'm doing screen share. Because I've been waiting to do this since forever, really. So right here, I'm going to parole case. And y'all know I'm real transparent. I'm transparent about what I do because when the point of us saving ourselves is so that we can show others how to save themselves. So this is a parole case that I was dealing with. A lot of people don't know, but 2019, I got out for prison by signing this order for release on parole. So all of what you all see on YouTube and on this website, as far as me, as far as what I've been doing for others and for myself, I was on parole, supposed to be, right? Supposed to be on parole, doing all of that. And the people that sent me to prison was Charles County. To be exact, Charles County District and Charles County Circuit Court, the representatives of Charles County District and Circuit Court at Maryland, as well as Charles County Sheriff Department. So when you all saw me at the gun range standing in front of Charles County Sheriff's Department police, because they're police, they're not sheriff officers, they're police. It's a police department called Charles County Sheriff Department. Then you have Office of the Sheriff for Charles County, Maryland. That's the Sheriff Department. Actually, the Sheriff Office. Sheriff's Department, Charles County Sheriff Department, that's the police. Anyway, when you all saw me standing there talking to them with a firearm on my hip, and I'm saying firearm because I fire with the arm. It's an arm, and I use it to shoot. I was supposed to have still been on parole. Not just that, I was supposed to have been on probation as well from the 2013 case at Charles County, allegedly. So when I was kidnapped at that traffic stop, I was dealing with 3 cases. Violation of parole, that was with prison. Department of Public Safety and Correctional Institution for Maryland. Violation of parole. Violation of probation. That was the Charles County case, one of the Charles County case from 2013 that I did 5 years for, and then they released me to do an additional 5 years on parole. Right? So that's 3. Then, no, that's 2. The third was the traffic stop. When I came to the traffic stop, that was this right here. That was this. The gun range case, as well as the other case right here that I signed, the plea sentence agreement under protest and duress, which makes it void, right? Plea deal, right? And this was the plea deal. It was a no contest plea deal. Wasn't no guilty plea deal, but still under protest and duress. So it's invalid and unenforceable. As well as the unsupervised probation order, right? Signed also under protest and duress and without prejudice. I ain't giving up my birthright. So now going back to the parole case. This was signed July 11, 2019 under protest and duress, which is what I told Freddie Lonsell to study. And come right here, what is this? November 2nd, 2023, a warrant was issued, de facto warrant. Right here, warrant, Department of Public Safety and Correctional Services, issued for the slave name, Lamont Butler, straw name, race, black. The date of parole, July 11, 2019, expiration date, pay attention, December 12, 2023. December 12, 2023. This warrant was issued, de facto warrant, colorable warrant, because it ain't a warrant, was issued November 2nd, 2023, so the parole was still active. Now, this is the statement of the charges. that supported the de facto warrant. On September 2nd, 2023, Lamont Butler was released from Charles County Detention Center. Mr. Lamont Butler hasn't made any efforts to report to the Division of Parole and Probation Hyattsville field office. Mr. Butler is a self-proclaimed sovereign citizen. Of course, they're not talking about me. They said Mr. Butler, and there's no such thing as a sovereign citizen. And I never called myself that. Based on Mr. Lamont Butler's actions, he does not believe in community supervision. The Division of Parole and Probation doesn't have any valid address or telephone number, cell phone number for Mr. Butler in order to give reporting instructions for his parole. The second charge, obey all laws. They said that Mr. Butler was charged with count 1, conspiracy, firearms, possession with felony conviction. Circuit Court for Charles County, Maryland gave the case number. The offense date was on November 13, 2022. That's the traffic stop. The trial date was on April 19, 2023. On June 7, 2023, Mr. Butler entered into a plea of nolo contendere. That's no contest. To count 1, conspiracy, firearm, possession with felony conviction. Mr. Butler was sentenced to 10 years, suspended all but 405 days with 206 days time served. Okay, credit with 5-year unsupervised probation, blah, blah. Third, they said that Mr. Butler didn't pay the extortion of $2,650 to be on parole. Fourth, didn't do the piss test or anything like that, and they signed it under penalties of perjury. This is the charging document for the warrant. So with all common sense, right, by all means, Mr. Lamont Butler is definitely going to prison. If he didn't go to prison, somehow those cases was dismissed, this right here, for some odd reason, right? We already know what the odd reason is. I'm just being funny. But this case right here was dismissed. Firearm possession with felony conviction. And right here is a writ of error that was issued from Morocco Consular Court, and it was noted by Charles County Circuit Court. Right here, see the stamps? Filed, noted, entered, right? And this showed that the parole agreement, excuse me, not the parole agreement. Let me show you. Let me get to it. Right here. It showed that this is the order. The disposition dated April 27th, unsupervised probation order dated June 7th, plea sentencing agreement dated June 7th, commitment record dated June 30th, criminal bill for costs, the forfeiture order, all of that was unconstitutional, notwithstanding null and void ab initio and unenforceable for lack of jurisdiction and fraud, same as the collusive action in the de facto administrative proceedings in the Maryland Parole Commission case, in the Circuit Court for Charles County case, including the hearing that was held on June 7th that they were referring to, right, in the warrant, and any other attachments, unconstitutional, notwithstanding null and void, and unenforceable, and closed for lack of jurisdiction and fraud. So that meant they cannot enforce anything in regards to that case. But here comes parole trying to enforce. So I got kidnapped March 23rd, 2024, earlier this year. While I was kidnapped, I contacted 2 sisters that I were already given consular assistance to, as well as one of the other sisters that recently nationalized. 3 sisters that recently nationalized and did not know each other from a can of paint. Brand new. Contacted them over the phone, and I had trained them to exercise consular jurisdiction as consul officers, as well as MUFTI, as well as assistant officers for the consul. So I commissioned Sister Wilkinson Bey, who you all just heard from, as well as Sister McLynn L. and Sister Hughes L. I commissioned them in the office of consul etc., so that they can exercise consular jurisdiction and get me out of prison. And guess what? I did it over a recorded and monitored prison phone call while I was in prison. So they heard everything. So from April 2024, and these are the recorded phone calls, from April 2024 all the way to May 10th, 2024, and this was the date of the parole hearing, they were enforcing the writ of habeas corpus, the writ of quo warranto for my release. And this is the writ of habeas corpus right here. The writ of quo warranto issued from Morocco Consular Court, as well as the release order being the, wait a minute, trying to get to it. All right, here it is. As well as the release order being the writ of habeas corpus ad suggesendum for the body of Lamont Maurice Butler L, because that's the free and national name that I do business in, to be produced to test the legality and the lawfulness of the imprisonment. So this demonstration was done and performed by these three sisters. They typed up the documents, and then somebody else added in. I'm not going to mention them because found out that he was dirty, so he's not going to be mentioned. You might see an additional name. You can ignore that or whatever you want to do with it, but I'm saving his the little bit of credibility that he has because I'm not going to speak on his actions. But nevertheless, these three sisters enforced the writ of habeas corpus for my release in these phone calls. It was more phone calls than this. I just didn't have enough space, and I posted the most important phone calls. And this one is my favorite one right here, the May 10th. And you don't have to download SoundCloud. All you got to do is click this button right here, and you can play it. And then came the parole hearing. This is the parole hearing, May 10th, that I went to, that I was compelled to go to. So I told the sisters, look, you all enforce consular jurisdiction from the outside to enforce the release order from consular court that you all issued. I'm going to enforce from the inside because I still have to save myself. But I told the sisters to send me in the paper trail, which is all right here. This is 60 pages, excuse me. So it's the quo warranto, the habeas corpus, as well as the affidavit of evidence and information, and then it's all of the evidence attached. And I enforced at this parole hearing. You all can press play on this parole hearing. I wanted to actually play it on live, but we don't have that much time because I want those three sisters, I invited those three sisters to come on so that they can speak about their their experience with enforcing and exercising consular jurisdiction and the reserved powers of the people. I want them to speak on that. But before that, let me just give you a rundown. I invoked my treaty right to consular jurisdiction in this parole hearing. They asked if I wanted to move forward with the parole hearing. I told them no. They asked, okay, well, look, and I said I want my treaty rights to be upheld, and my consulate is supposed to be here. And long story short, the parole commissioner said, if you want your consulate here, you have to go through the proper channels, which was basically the case manager. To contact the case manager, have your consulate contact the case manager, send those documents through the case manager, and they're going to send it to the commissioner. But we're going to present this postponement form for you to sign, right? So this is another contract. Did I sign it? Absolutely not. This is what I did. I wrote under protest and duress without recourse and all rights reserved. Right here, where it says inmate signature, because I'm not an inmate. And right here is the email that was sent by the three sisters to the case manager that they told us to send it to. And this was done May 13th. Yep, May 13th. My life date, May 15th. So We had my mother did a 12 or 15-way phone call, and we had a little birthday celebration or life day celebration for me over the phone, the monitored and recorded phone call, right? And then came May 17th, my release date. Well, not my release date, but the date that I was released. And here is the receipt showing the release, the commitment release clearance. I was released under consular jurisdiction by way of the writ of habeas corpus. I set out back in 2014. I said that I'm not getting out on parole. I'm getting released by way of the truth, which is habeas corpus. 2018, I had somebody issue writ of habeas corpus, but they were incompetent in enforcing it. Excuse me, no. Let me retract that. 2018, I typed up a release order and a writ of habeas corpus release order, and I had sent it off from prison. They filed it. They entered it into the record because these people already know me. And I had a process server go and pull the record of the release order, certified, and they sent it off to the parole commissioners. And of course, you know, no one knew how to enforce it. So I was sent to lockup pending investigation. And instead of being released, I was the classification went from minimum pre-release back to medium max. And I was sent all the way out Eastern Shore. And for a whole year, I waited. So the whole time I was in prison for the 5 years, it was law school for me. I knew that once I got out, it was on. So what you all saw while I was home, from 2019, I got active 2020. From 2020 to 2024, you saw me taking revenge. All of those videos were revenge. It was revenge, but it was revenge through the great missionary work. It was what we had to do anyway. And when the sisters, now I'm back in 2024, when the sisters got on the phone and was enforcing, one of the commissioners was like, yeah, y'all want, we remember y'all from 2018. And the sisters didn't know what they were talking about, but nevertheless, they continue to enforce. And I am so proud and honored to present Sister Hughes L., Sister Wilkinson Bey, and Sister McLynn L. And I want to continue to send my gratitude for you all, to you all, and what you all have done for me, as well as for this movement, and you all being new Moors. Y'all wasn't even nationalized the whole year yet. But could you all please take yourselves off mute and just give your experience as far as the enforcement? You're still on, y'all still on mute. I don't know if y'all know that.
Peace and love, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay, I guess I'll start. Hi, everyone. I'm Sister Hughes L. I'll make this really quick. I will just say that it was such an extremely enlightening and magical experience taking part in the release of the Consul General Lamont. I didn't realize how much power we had as declared nationals. We actually sent a release order for our Moorish American national, and despite the runaround that we were given, it was honored. And consciously, I understand why and how that happened, but subconsciously, it's still taking me some time to digest what we were able to do. But I just wanted to say that, and I'll go ahead and pass it over to one of the other sisters.
Islam. I wanted to say, this is a Wilkinson Bey. I wanted to say that it was, how am I going to start this? It was amazing to see how much power we had enforcing. I never knew that we can do something like that. And for me, well, at first it was more like a learning. We learned so much in so little time. It was a crash course. And we got the runaround. It was, oh my goodness, they did not want to speak basically to us. So they passed us around the whole, I'm telling you, they passed us around from every office you can think of, to the Secretary of State, to the Attorney General office, to the warden, we was passed around everywhere just to speak to everyone, just to say, just giving us the runaround. And it was amazing. But that was the moment when I realized that I'm gonna put it like this, that we are the supreme law of the land. That's all I gotta say. We are the supreme law of the land. And I knew I was moving in the right direction. When we did that, I was like, what? And we was on the phone like 8 hours a day, it seemed like. Every day. We woke up early, we studied. We woke up early, we studied. We made some phone calls. It was an ongoing process, but we did it. And Brother Lamont, this was like, yeah, all you have to do is enforce. We never asked for anything. We just commanded. And it happened. Islam.
Sister McLennan.
Islam, everyone. I'm gonna make mine very brief. They pretty much summed up everything. I just wanted to iterate a quote that is near and dear to.
Oh, you got cut, sister. You got cut off. You went. I don't know what happened.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to iterate a quote that's near and dear to me. It's by the sister Maya Angelou. I'm not going to say the full quote, but it's called Defeat. You may encounter many defeats, but you must not be defeated. Again, you may encounter many defeats, but you must not be defeated. That's something that we had to carry with us throughout this journey while enforcing consular jurisdiction. And you're going to carry that throughout you're going to have to know that going through any process when you're enforcing the Constitution. This process has been enlightening, like Sister Hughes said. It's been magical, again, like she said. It's been powerful, like Sister Wilkinson-Bey said. But I'm like, most importantly, I don't know, it brought out a certain rage. Like, how dare you? How dare you tell us no, especially when we are upholding the law and you all are breaking the law. So, it's really one of those things where your strength is tested, your mental acuity, because you got to be sharp when they tell you no. You got to maintain your composure as much as possible when they tell you no. And most importantly, you just got to know that whatever you do, that you walk, like Sister Wilkinson-Bey always said, we walking in truth and it's going to be okay. It's just an opportunity for you to go back to the drawing board and strengthen your study skills so that you can continue to strengthen your study skills so that you can continuously enforce the law. But nevertheless, it will work out in your favor, especially when you walk in love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And I yield.
I know that's right. And once again, I told y'all, once people hear you all's words, see, I'm a son. I'm a son of a Ma. I'm a Ma son, not to be confused with Freemason. I'm a son of a mother by birthright. Everybody don't hear the sons. They hear the mothers. Not only do they hear the mothers, they hear the Moabite mothers, because everybody came through you all. And I knew this because my mother showed me the enforcement. She's been enforcing her whole life. She wasn't enforcing the Constitution. She was enforcing morals. And I never heard my mother take a no for an answer. So I knew that coming into this movement and then learning about the position of the mother and the position of the son and how there's nothing on this planet but mothers and sons, I knew that the great missionary work was uplifting fallen humanity, but I also saw that humanity was written on the stomach of the mother in the 101s. And the wrath of Allah, I mean, can we relate the wrath of Allah to woman? Can we relate the wrath of Allah to Mother Nature or the motherland? Yes, we can. So I started relating the wrath of Allah to a woman, being the wrath of a woman. And I know how they have turned a lot of our women against our sons and a lot of our sons against our mothers. And that's a powerful wrath. I've been feeling my mother's wrath most of my whole life. But I also knew that if that wrath was redirected to the right area, to the right people, and that woman that sleep in Noble Drew Ali's hands, in his arms, when he's bringing her out of the cares of the world, of the sea of the cares of the world and onto the solid land of salvation, if she wakes up, yes, they are in trouble. And when I say they, I'm talking about the ones that's practicing lawlessness, the ones that's practicing wickedness, and which includes colonizers. Not all of them, because all of them aren't evil. I knew that when our mother wakes up, we sons ain't got to do too much other than have her back. Because the wrath of Allah starts with woman. It starts with mother. And when mother speaks, everybody listens. So those were three mothers that was just speaking. Right? One of them doesn't have a child yet, but still, she's a future mother. And knowing that, you know, because I've been hearing Tarik speak on that for so long, knowing that and then seeing the revelation of that and being part of that, being the actual subject matter of the release, you know, and then I had the honor to like train them and coach them on what to do to release me. I mean, that was like hysterical. That was monumental. That goes in the history books. And I'm sure our people, the generations that come after us, is going to talk about that. Because look at what it is. It is our mothers exercising the reserve powers of the people. Because remember, we was under the impression that this was a patriarchy. No, it's not. It's still it's always been a matriarchy. Always. And I knew, I've been saying, anybody that's been going to my classes, I've been saying, yeah, this is a sister's position. This is a mother's position. I'm just taking it right now and I'm holding it down. And I'm doing my best. And I think I'm doing a great damn job. But soon as those sisters came, and it's way, like I said, it's way more sisters than those three sisters. Those are the three sisters that I just so happen to call upon. But it's a whole lot of sisters in our classes that are competent and that are equals. They ain't followers. They ain't looking to follow nobody. They equals. And as soon as they're ready, they're going to take their position too. But as soon as I found that out and this revelation happened, I said, wow. I mean, you know, it just reminded me of chapter 17, 18, and 19. And that's what we spoke on. I'm talking about Circle 7. That's when I got out on Friday. It was a Friday, a holy day. I was released 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then that Friday night, I jumped on our holy day service, surprised everyone. And that is what's the video that's at the top of the parole case on that webpage. That's that video. I think you all should check it out. And thank you, sisters, for your testimony, your beautiful testimony. Greatly appreciate that. And now I know we're running out of time, but Dr. G, we may have to like do another session so that George and I can talk, because I wanted to talk about all of that, because the testimonies first, because I was hearing that there was a false narrative going on about what happened in 2022 to 2023 about George and myself, saying that the Consul General let George go to trial and get his head taken off while he took a plea deal. Now, if the plea deal was valid, I would be in prison. And those sisters, there wouldn't have been nothing that they could have did to get me out of it. As a matter of fact, I would have went to prison from Charles County because it was backup time for parole and probation with the additional charges. So to be clear, you all, because I don't know of anybody that's been on parole actively enforcing the Constitution from an official position, from an office with a firearm on his hip at a state, Maryland, that does not allow open carry. I don't know nobody that's done that. I'm not bragging. I'm showing you all, or I'm showing us, those that it applies to, our power and our abilities. And why you got to get rid of those contracts. I've been demonstrating. And I was supposed to have been doing at least 15-year backup time from the Charles County case. But when that didn't happen and they gave themselves a window, I'm talking about Charles County, gave themselves a window. The parole case came about again. And then they did a window for that for themselves and they have to do the windows for themselves because if they don't have any bonds that you consented to and you're enforcing and you are in right standing, not just you got a national ID card, you got some paperwork to say you're a Moorish American, so your right's supposed to be recognized. That's not how it works. It's not just the paperwork. It's your activity and it's your words. And also, it's your moral compass. A lot of people have broken moral compasses. They think that they can commit criminal activity while at the same time getting Moorish honors and protections under the treaty and the Constitution. No. Study your Zodiac Constitution. Anybody using the credential number with the Library of Congress, you better study that Zodiac Constitution issued by C.M. Because a lot of you all are committing crimes. You're violating the very Constitution that credential number is tied to, thinking that you're going to get benefits. And it doesn't work like that. So getting back to the topic, there were people that you all saw that was supposed to have been in the consulate back in 2022, and I ain't going to call out no names that I don't need to, that was with me since 2020. That was trained on the same thing that those three sisters was trained over the phone. And instead of doing that, a lot of people that were supporting me and George at that time, you know, you all thought that things were getting done because, you know, people was, you know, making it appear that way. But no, there was a whole lot of arguments over the phone. 2022, December. 2023, January, and 2022, November, when we first initially went in. I was arguing with those people that was supposed to have been helping me. Y'all didn't hear what happened over those phone calls. George heard, and I heard. And they were not doing what they were supposed to be doing in their position. Furthermore, when I went to the hole in January 2023, my mother got on a conference call with a bunch of other people that were supposed to have been in the consulate. And I ain't saying all of them. I'm saying majority of them. She was on a call with them and they were trying to convince her to do other processes with scam artists that I already told to stay away from my platform and to stay away from my meetings. They hooked up with those people and tried to get my mother to sign over a power of attorney over my estate. And I'm like, you know, my mother's like, why don't y'all just do what he said for you all to set out to do? Oh, well, now that didn't work. We got to go to the United Nations. When the last time United Nations gave remedy to somebody? Is the United Nations your government? And why are we running to something outside of ourselves once again? Anyway, those same individuals came back together with another individual that was voted out of the consulate because he was lying about the things that he was doing, and he was promoting people to do things that he himself wasn't doing, but called himself a vice consul general standing next to me. I ain't put his name out there. I gave you all enough clues. He was with the other members in the consulate that was supposed to have been in the consulate back in August, was it July, August 2023, and they were all promoting some other processes that had to do, I think it was, I ain't gonna put that out there, but it had to do with, calling yourself, filling out the SF 181 form, SF 181, the race and ethnicity form, and calling yourself white Indian or something, whatever, one of those brand names for your race, and then getting people thrown right back into slavery. So, with that being said, if these three sisters was able to get me out of prison, of course I had to do what I had to do on my side. What was their excuse for George and I? Because they had the same material. Remember, I did a show with you, Dr. G. I think it was the last thing that we did. It was called The People, something like the people will be known by their works and the traitors will be revealed.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Wasn't a coincidence that I did that, because if you all are paying attention, you'll see the traitors. And I ain't got no cut cards. I'm just, for the sake of being humble, and keeping the peace, I'm not putting people out there. Nevertheless, these demonstrations should show you all who's honorable and sincere and who's looking for benefits and causing confusion. Because starting with the Moorish Sign Symbol of America, the Moorish Sign Symbol of America is perfect. The literature in the Moorish Sign Symbol of America is perfect. And it's supposed to be used for a saving power for us to save ourselves. But from 1913 to 1928, Noble Drew Ali was on the scene and he was dealing with a whole bunch of traitors. That's why he was forced to make changes. And he also had different articles that needed to be read before every meeting. One of them being the statement, if you doubt I, the prophet, go back to that state of mind where I, the prophet, found you. Give up your turban, your fez, and your nationality card, your buttons. Dr. Hannibal said that's called personam non grata. Make them personam non grata. Go back to that state of mind that the Noble Drew Ali found you in, because you're doubting the prophet. I mean, Noble Drew Ali said, enforce the Constitution. Here we have new Moors actively enforcing the Constitution, as well as myself. And I'm not that new. I started in 2011. I had successfully defended my right to travel in the traffic case in 2012. And I thought I was catching up with everybody, just to find out most people that was around Taj was only trying to clout chase and sell packages and stuff like that. I'm not going to use foul language. But yeah, you all need that's paying attention. You all see the traitors. You see the traitors, and it ain't really nothing need to be said. There's no need to be a conflict or argument or anything. Take your responsibility back and do what you know you're supposed to be doing. No different than all of the Asiatics around the world are decolonizing. They're showing us what it looks like. We don't even need to take up firearms. Look, we're doing it without arms, without any firearms. We don't need firearms. All we need is the breath, which is the spirit, also known as the holy breath, and the right words. 2 Timothy chapter 2 says, study and show thyself approved before God, a workman who need not be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. So that means speak denotatively instead of connotatively, and you'll get a favorable reply, just like we are. And with that being said, you got anything to say, Brother George? I know we're going over time, Dr. G. I apologize.
I'll bring you back. I'll bring you back. I'll definitely.
I'll save it for another time, bro.
No, you can say something, but I'll bring you back.
I got a lot more to say.
Okay. Then I'll keep it extremely short. I'm not going to do any explaining or anything like that, but I will say this, and I do mean extremely short, Dr. G. I'm not going to be long at all. There are things that are going on out there that will cause you delays and headaches. Let's just say headaches to keep it simple right now. Even though sometimes you can be fortunate enough to find those that will overlook those contracts that need to be canceled or corrected, take care of it. Because if you don't, and that includes the name change or authenticating the birth certificate and all of that other crap that's out there, cancel, rescind it, get rid of it, because they can bring it up at any time to screw you over. Period. And I'm gonna keep it short. We'll get in more detail later on. It's late. We already past time. Um, so I'm gonna leave it at that for the night, and we'll get into more specifics later on.
And
most
I
definitely
wanted
bring y'all back. Before you go, I want to make sure just got a call during the broadcast, but I have to get an update on Grand Sheik. He had surgery today, so I mean he's resting right now. So I know folks want to know like how he's doing. So I'll get a full report at the end of this call. But I also, before everybody goes, because like I said, when we get to the end of stuff, folks want to leave, but maybe I'll have you say a last word, like, so they'll stay until the last word. But I want to make sure that, our next Friday, we have our in-person class or civics class with Teaching Lady J, discussing limited private. We also have a dynamic sister, Araminta L, who is, she has about over 100 plus of her family members, her clan members, her tribe that are living with express trust and operating the way they're supposed to. And Brother Dave Levy-Bey, who's a master herbalist, he's also very close to our Grand Sheik, or he will be there on next Friday. So please plan, if you can, to be with us next Friday, the 22nd. 7 p.m. Doors open at 6:30. Hope to see you because it's our absolute last event of the 2024. Thank you, Consul General Lamont Maurice, for gracing us with your presence last month for our 2020, what we thought was going to be our last one. But when we realized the fourth Friday was going to be the week before Thanksgiving, we were like, oh, yeah, we can do another one. And so we do have, if anybody really wants to learn about express trust. And what I love about this sister is that she absolutely believes that you freely you receive, freely you give. And she's trained family members so the family members can change, bring your whole family into knowing how to do a lot of the things that you're talking about. So if you want to meet her and hear her in person, along with Teaching Lady J and our master herbalist iridologist, Dr. Dave, Brother Dave Levy-Bey, please be with us next Friday. Wish you could come back, but we need like a whole day.
Yeah.
we need a day, but this will be the last for 2024, and I don't know, we'll get you back. No, you want to come back Tuesday or something? We'll get you back. So
yeah, right on. I do want to say that for those that are looking to join us for the civic classes, you can go on the website, register for civic classes. Yes, we do have it to where you have to register now, and that's so that we can save ourselves from being exploited by people that want to just come in, learn a little bit, and then mix it up with other processes and turn it into a sovereignty package for payment. And just to be clear, we don't sell paperwork. We train and we coach. I offer training and coaching. I don't offer paperwork. Paperwork comes with the training and coaching, but the service that I offer, as far as you enforcing, your due process rights, is training and coaching. And as far as the classes, you have to register, and there is a screening application that you have to fill out. Yes, because we're going to get to know everybody that we are involved with and that's engaged with these study groups that we have, because we have study groups throughout the whole North America. And we're going to make sure we protect that space so that we can study without having to be divided, confused, or misled into other processes, which puts you back into slavery. because that's what's been going on, and we need to stop that. So those that want to join us for the civic classes, you go on the website, look for civic class registration, and then follow the instructions. And I yield, Dr. G.
Well, and we thank you. And of course, that information is running underneath the, if you don't know what the website location is, please. And then for those of you who, okay, let me put this up there. Oops. For those of you who are still interested in, helping us reach our goal for medical expenses for Grand Sheik, if you text donate to this number, I will send you back all of the 4 ways that you can do so. So you just text the word donate, just 302-345-0500. We absolutely appreciate each and every one of you who is, not only has given of your finances, but has given of your energy, your love, and even, sending in some cases, folks have sent things, this will help. The stingless bee for his eyes, or this, that, and the other, or different herbalists and so forth who have reached out to us. So as I said, he's under real good care. He's eating better, Consul General, then he's in a place where he doesn't get to eat a lot of junk, which I know has been contributing to his, maybe his some of what's going on.
I want to mention about that. The brother, Dr. Yaki, he's definitely had the support. I mean, he definitely wanted to support the brother Taj.
And I know it means getting him to out to St. Louis. And I right now he's with some of his family members, and so it's kind of hard. All I can do is pass the information on. You know what I mean? So I can't. I'm not in a position, and
Yeah, I know. I just wanted to put it because a lot of people have been asking about.
A lot of people. I get calls almost every day if somebody mentions him, and I'm very appreciative of that. And like I said, perhaps as we progress, we'll see.
Honors to the brother Yaki and the brother Nabi. You know, I appreciate you, brothers. You all are good brothers.
Absolutely, yeah. Because he's I mean, I know he's dealing. We also found like his blood pressure was like yesterday was like 100 and something like 180 over 110, which is absolutely crazy, But we're gonna get him together. He's gonna get together. So he had some surgery today. I don't know exactly how he's doing. I was told he's resting. So, but thank you, each and every one of you for taking time out of your schedule, and I will have you back. Okay, so that you can do. Well, one thing I love about having you on, I don't have to say too much. I can just sit back and chill. So I have you back.
Yeah, I'll be having a lot to say, right?
I just put you on the and I just get back. So I mean, no, it's not a bad thing. It's good, because you can hold your own, and appreciate that to the utmost. And
I want to say this before we go. A lot of people talk about nationalizing and they're excited and joyful, can't wait. It's inspiring until they find out what the work is. And Taj told me this back in 2013. He said everybody want to nationalize until they know what it really is. And now that BRICS was formed, BRICS,
right,
all the Asiatic nations, and that came together. This is the reuniting of Asia. We're part of that. Not saying that we're part of BRICS, but we're part of the purpose that they're set out to do. Those countries are showing us what nationalization is. In other words, decolonization. And Dr. G, if you or anyone has ever seen the movie, Wall Street, the second one, Money Never Sleeps? The rumor that was going on, it was it Michael Douglas, Charlie Sheen? He was older though in this movie, Charlie Sheen.
It's not the Wolf of Wall Street. This is something different.
Not the Wolf of Wall Street. That was like a spinoff of Wall Street Part 1.
Okay.
Yeah. So Wall Street is really good too, because they told the truth. They even put in Wall Street when they was talking about the Teldar paper conference. Gordon Gekko, he said that the United States was a corporation in the speech. So they putting the truth in the movies. But the second one was talking about the rumor of China nationalizing. And there was a billionaire that committed suicide in the movie based off of the rumor that was put out there. So they're showing how extremely important nationalization is, you know, and how detrimental it is to decolonization, or to colonialism, I should say, because nationalization is decolonization. So our people are still learning that, but turn on the news and look at the international news, you see that all that nation, the Asiatic nations around the world are nationalizing, which is decolonizing. That's what it looks like. We're a part of the same fight.
Kicking them off there.
Yeah, we're a part of the same fight. Now, of course, they're controlling the narrative here and letting us see, you know, what the narrative. I ain't gonna go into detail because we're trying to avoid YouTube jail. But yeah, we hear them. But right. You know, if you know how to pay attention to, what is it, geopolitics? Yes, socio-geopolitics, and you should look that up because I had to look it up. That's what all of this is. It's not about, oh man, I can get a free house or I can get a free car. No, it's about bringing the supreme law of the land back on the land. And the only people that can do that is the people of the land. We have to do that. The European colonizers can't even enforce the Constitution. They try to bring it up in their de facto courts. They'll tell them they'll hold them in contempt. And they ain't parties to the Constitution. There's even a case law that says that they're not parties to the Constitution. But nevertheless, that means that we have that much more responsibility. And that also shows that there are certain people that ain't taking responsibility, claiming seats and sitting in seats, but ain't doing what the seat is supposed to be doing. Because those seats, Grand Sheik, Chairman, Assistant Grand Sheik, those are ministerial seats. And those seats also hold the office of consul. Because minister ain't got nothing to do with belief system.
No.
Minister has to do with, ministry has to do with consular missions and international missions dealing with embassies.
And the work, it means, you know, when you administer or minister to the needs of,
exactly.
it is a doing. It's just like, you know, God is not God is a verb.
Verb
so
transitive.
Minister is a you know, it's doing.
It's a doing. It's you being active, not passive.
Right. Yeah,
that's not ministry, but yes.
Absolutely. Well, listen, thank you so much. Appreciate
Thank you for having me again, Dr. G.
All right, and we'll have you both back on, so we can, so you two can talk about, you know, that time that people still might have questions about, and anything else that, you know, because from looking at the chat, you know, this has been a very people have been taking notes, like you said. You were giving them a process, and if you go to the website enforcetheconstitution.org, www.enforcetheconstitution.org, you're going to see those receipts right there that he was showing you. So maybe you know, if you're on your phone or something and couldn't see it, well, go to the website and
traffic court cases, foreclosure cases, all types of cases up there. But I definitely advise everyone that does plan to, you know, look at the paper trail and use them as templates and everything. At least do a consultation. At least do a consultation so that you can be consulted on the energy, the spells that's on that document, those documents, because those are spells, those are energies. All right. So at least do a consultation. But if not, if you know how to read and you are paying attention, because, you know, nothing's free. If you don't pay the cost, then at least you got to pay the attention. You got to pay. Either way, you got to pay. Nothing's free. But those that know how to pay attention and know how to read and already know process, there's the process right there. You can go ahead and save yourself. And there's been numbers of people that have reached out to me via email, thanking me and thanking everybody on the platform for posting those documents, because they've used those documents to save themselves. They know it's not just paperwork, sending off paperwork. They sent that paperwork off as notice. And then they made phone calls. They did the activity, because documentation beats conversation. Soon as you put them on notice, everything you say ain't hearsay anymore. It ain't hearsay. So honors to you all that have enforced the Constitution and saved yourself without even talking to me, but just, you know, sending me appreciations and gratitude. So much honors to you all.
And to you, and to you, and to each of you. Again, thank you so much for your time.
Right on.
The deeper and deeper I go, I find what it is I should know. 'Cause it's just a matter of time that you'll reawaken your mind. Oh, come with me, come to know and find out what is true. Then you'll know what's in store just for you. No more living a lie. I can look to the sky and say, I'm reawakening mine. Come to know and find out what is truth, yes. Then you'll know what's in store just for you. No more living a lie. I can look to the sky and say, I'm reawakening mine.